Volume's definitely going to spike into the next couple hours, so going to be really, really exciting. But yeah, for myself, nurse this Microsoft long, wait to see if Amazon can get to 100, make a decision, long or short, I have no idea. I'll decide when it gets there. And yeah, super excited for tomorrow. PK, what is your average fill per day? I don't know. Average fills. Oh, the amount of fills that I take every day. It varies. Sometimes it could be 100. Sometimes it could be 600.
Scalp Demon. There you go. That's the number I want to hear.
I make my decisions based on how I feel. So like today, Monday, tired, Super Bowl, less fills. It's just a product of it. But yeah, tomorrow things go crazy. Maybe I get like 700 fills. I don't know. It'll change, right? So yeah. Definitely, yeah, moving lots of shares around over and over again.
All right, guys. We are over time zone. It is now 2 o'clock. And power hour is an hour away, so I think we got Brendo at the big desk.
Yep.
And the guys are ready to take you over. Good chill, my friend.
Always a pleasure.
All right, guys. Brendo's at the big desk.
Take care.
Hey guys, welcome back in. Yeah, 2 o'clock, couple hours left in the afternoon here. What's turning into pretty positive Monday. Good to see after coming off of the negativity that we saw to end the week last week. Ahead of what is to come tomorrow, remember 8:30 tomorrow morning, we will get the January CPI, and then coming up later in the week, PPI to come as well. So big week for economic data. Palantir after the close tonight. We get Airbnb coming up tomorrow. A couple of early earnings names to deal with so far this week, but nicely positive for all three U.S. markets, in fact, to kick off the afternoon here. Tough to see up there, but 1.16 right now for the S&P. It's actually the NASDAQ. Why don't I, while I have you, switch over to the NASDAQ here, and we can have a look at a very positive afternoon as well. 1.75 right now for the NASDAQ. Not much in the way of negativity. Tesla jumping off the board there, 1.4 to the downside. Coming off what happened last week, however, 1.4, really not that bad for Tesla, worth a bit of a pullback possibly. Warner Brothers nicely positive, more spin-off talk possible for Warner Brothers, up 5.4%. Series here, 0.75 to the downside. PayPal, 0.45 to the downside. Everything else, as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, very positive. There's Airbnb up better part of 6% going into earnings again tomorrow. PDD is here, 4.5%. Again, a little bit of positivity surrounding that Super Bowl ad of their North American division. Amazon 1.7 to the upside as well. eBay also in positive territory. Semiconductors looking great. NVIDIA, AMD, Enphase, Intel all looking great. 3%, 2.8, 2.15, and Intel 2.5 all to the upside. Let's switch over just real quick to the SPX, which is obviously the S&P 500, and have a look at a very green board. Just that FIS, they reported downside action for them, but everything else nicely positive to kick things off. We're going to try something new to start things off this afternoon. As far as getting into a review of what we were talking about during the morning trade, Fahad, you can let me know whenever you are set to go. As always, we will touch on a few things that we were discussing. If you joined us in the pre-market, we're still on my screen there, guys, if you want to. There we go. Hi. Hope your afternoon is going well. We'll get into, as we do every single afternoon, talk a little bit about what we were discussing in the pre-market. Make sure, as Sean is punching me right now, virtually, of course, make sure you join us every day at 8:30. We'll get you set for the open at 9:30 this morning. If you're ready, Fahad. Yes. All right, we're good. Sean, take it away.
All right, we're live. All right, well, what happened to the bumper? I guess I didn't see it. All right, it's the trade of the day. It's brought to you by Day Trade the World. Scan the QR code that may or may not be at the bottom of your screen right now. Look, this is the green screen. We're trying it out for brand new first time ever. So what the trade of the day is going to be Meta. I feel like a weatherman here pointing to this. We've got Meta. The reason why I want to talk about Meta, look at the percentage that Meta's up today. 3%, that's great. Look over here as I cross over. Look at the NASDAQ, only up 1.7%. So we knew Meta was going to be strong. But the key is here, it's a one trade special. We wrote it to you on our trade of the day on our sticky note. And look at this 176, it came into play. If you look at it back over here for yesterday, for Friday, 176 was sort of this top rate in play right there that came into. So I was thinking to myself, hey, we got to look at this 176 level if it does come in today. So let's swing over here. Look at this trade right here, as I got to point to it on the green screen. This is the trade right there. There's 176 coming in again. 176 for the trade of the day right there on Meta. Comes in. Not only that, look at this level. Look at it on the 3-minute chart as I enter the chart. But right there on the 3-minute chart, it's the 200 period. So we take Meta, and then it just blows up to the upside. One little mark here, 178.50. Look how many times it bounced off 178.50. So we kept on watching it. And I sort of said when I got out of this that possibly I'd have a little bit of FOMO. It just motors all the way up, takes out 182, and you could see Meta still going. But the idea behind this was it's a sticky note, and it comes right in. Look, there's 176. I want to thank the viewers because without you, I would have missed it. There it is right here on the 3-minute. It's the same level. It's 176, and it coincides back here to Friday's levels as well. So it came in. Whoa, where am I? It's one trade right there at 176. Comes in. We wait for it. It happens. It's Meta, and it's your green screen trade of the day.
There we go, and a great one. Yeah, nice look for Meta this morning, coming off that note of more job cuts to come. We're going to continue that conversation here coming up in a couple seconds. But if you haven't done so yet, make sure you scan that QR code, grab the watch list every single day. We send it out before we come on at 8:30. It's free if you hadn't heard already. That's a little bit of what it looks like anyways. Everything you need to know in the pre-market, all in one spot. We do your research, your homework for you, put it in one package, send it to you, and then you come join us at 8:30. We get you set and ready for the open every single day. Good look there. I like that. It looks a lot more detail coming through on that green screen look. Let's continue the conversation as far as Meta is concerned. This was a note over the weekend. It was actually Saturday that the Financial Times reported that the company hadn't completed its current budget for the current quarter. And they were pointing to the fact that more job cuts were to come, and that was why. So Meta, as soon as we sat down this morning, was 2% above essentially where the overall market was to kick things off. Relative strength takes you to the upside. Guys, love that. Love that look.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. Look, I'll tell you this right now. There we go. It's not as easy as it looks doing that in front of a green screen, because I'm sitting there, I can turn and I can see Sean. He's pointing to blank on the chart.
Shout out to weathermen.
Shout out to weathermen and women across the world.
Weather people.
Kudos to stepping up to be the first one to pull it off there. So I'm happy with you. No, it was. I like it. It's more detail. You can see on the chart, really clear to see the levels.
That was the key thing.
And read the prices. I hope you guys like that.
We'll work on like chart positioning and everything like that. I mean,
we'll figure it out, man.
But
we're live.
We had a meeting today, and we were like, "Yo, let's use some of these things that we had in." I want to give a big shout out to the super chat as well. I don't recall who it was, but we did get a nice $100 super chat from the midday show. So I want to give a big shout out.
It was Momo.
Momo something.
It was
so
Momo.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
We are going to get something on Streamlabs as soon as Prad's ready.
That was loud.
I know there's a lot being built up here, but where they can display the super chats live as they're sort of happening, so everybody can see it. But okay, I'm just going to fix up my charts if there's anything you want to talk about.
Well, I'll just talk Meta because I'm in it now, but it's obviously a different trade, right? Like 176 was the thing. Once it broke 180, I stopped looking for the short off that level and just only started playing the longs. There was some nice bounce plays into 181, and we still have a 181 top. I keep trying to get rid of this wick to make the scaling better, but I am long off VWAP here 79s, and I'm looking to trail this beneath 180, otherwise hold until the high of the day. Let's just see how far it can go. I mean, Meta, job cuts, market likes it, but really, since the earnings, Meta has found a bit of a level. And just to show you, oh, wait a minute, what happened to my daily chart? That must have, at some point, my daily chart crashed. I'll get that back. But that 181 since earnings, or 180 to 181, it broke on Friday, and then that was resistance. Now you're back above that number and looking to run. So if the market takes out tops and we get like a 2% kind of day plus, I don't see any reason why Meta shouldn't keep testing highs and be at 5% or something along those lines. Maybe not the same thing for Alphabet, but Meta's certainly strong today.
Okay, we have all right. So we just did the trade of the day was Meta. Of course, we just talked about that. So hopefully, we'll talk. I was going to talk about Google, but we just shorted rate again right now. So as we were going up for the trade of the day, we got that short. So we're going to watch out for this trade here coming through. But it's going to be Google to the short side. We just took a piece out right there, short off some 80s. But we'll get over that. Yeah, Meta for me today was a pretty easy trade. trade, and it was just calm down. And I think that's the one thing that we've talked about. We have that patience quote on our Twitter, and I feel like, you know, waiting for 176 is exactly the level that we wrote down here on the sticky note. Came through. I want to give a big shout out to the viewers, because when it came down here, I wasn't here. So, you know, normally I do park in order there, but I deleted them all because the market was just going so red, so I canceled them all. But put this one back in, and there it is right now. Meta continues to be real strong today. Of course, I feel like they are going to ban TikTok or have some sort of a TikTok, you know, I don't know if it's going to be, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if it's going to be banned, but I feel like they're not going to ban Reels or Instagram or YouTube Shorts or anything like that. So I feel like the TikTok talk is much better. TikTok talk is much better for Meta and YouTube and Google, Alphabet, than we think right now. So let's just continue to go long these names. I still worry about Meta up there at 196 where we were on the daily. We stayed up there for a little bit too long and then fell down. So still I'm a little bit worried about this. I'm actually thinking about trimming some Meta today in the long-term portfolio.
Oh, gotta take
There we go. We got to switch back over. They were wondering about the position board. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Don't worry. This was the note on Microsoft. I just saw they shot down a fourth, apparently, a high-level balloon. Like, what is going on? Crazy. Stifle with a price target raise on Microsoft today, pointing to further positivity. There was also this note down here, which was just a transformation partnership with a company over in Portugal, logistics company over in Portugal, but not a major story. But this note was highlighting the ChatGPT and AI thing over and over and over and over again. So a nice day for Microsoft.
Yes, sir. And I'm not in Microsoft right now to the long side, but I have these crazy wicks. It's going to look messed up on the scaling here, but we started the trade on Softy this morning thinking, okay, dip buy into Friday's close. I know I like that. You know, 236, 234, that area looks fantastic for a dip buy, but sometimes there's no dip to be bought. I wasn't looking for breakout trades, at least definitely wasn't looking for it at the open on Softy, so I did miss out when it took out the pre-market high. And then I just waited for it to make a move, consolidate off 270, went long 70s, scalped some of that, added to it when it broke out here at 71. So we went long both times and then just scaled it out on the way to like 272.5. Then I got back in on VWAP there, took this one all the way up to 73, and then tried the breakout, got in and out flat at 73. And now I'm just trying to be patient because I know Luca was trading this, and this is hard to see because that wick. I'll do my best to get rid of it at some point. But I want to go back to this 71 area for a long and then the 70. So only play two places long here, 270 and 271. As this is happening, by the way, Alphabet's back to VWAP. So
yes, sir.
Going to get some more out in front of said VWAP. Okay, if I take the next fill, position board should update. But yeah, I want to get more shares out in front of VWAP there. It's just been a good short. However, well, we're going to talk about Alphabet. I did this, which is shorting it in front of VWAP. The shorts have been off 95 on Alphabet. But Softy, I'll go long back down to 271. That's in the strong bucket today, along with Meta.
Yeah, look, Microsoft, I still feel like Microsoft is one of those names where, we're getting filled on Google right now. So we're just taking some fills right now at 52 off the same short there. So, I was waiting for many more shares up here. But we'll wait. We'll still wait to see if it comes back up. We only got stopped out of one short right there for Google. But let's go over to Microsoft right now and let's look at what is my favorite stock to trade. And we don't have any trades today. The only thing I want to say about Microsoft here is when they released their report was, hold on, I'm going to find the date here, MSFT. Here it is right here, Jan 24th. So January 24th, right into here. We started that day horribly down. If you guys remember, it was getting hit there down at 235, 230. They actually guide lower there. That is Microsoft. And then, for some reason, all that chat stuff starts to talk because the very next day or 2 days later, Google came out and did not have a great experience with their chat AI, right? And so all of a sudden their AI. And all of a sudden, Google went one way, Microsoft went the other way. So I'm still thinking that there's a little bit of froth in this play up here. Microsoft did not have a great report. Like, I'm tired. It's one of my largest holdings, but I don't know. Like, I feel like this 275, eventually we're going to look back and be like, man, we should have shorted that up here near that 275. So I don't know. I'm looking at Microsoft. I still think there's a little bit that needs to come off of this.
Yeah, I'll do
Last one.
Only one left? All right.
No, let Sean have it.
No. I had lots, man. In the midday,
Okay.
in the midday show, I had like 4 or 5 pieces.
I'll bring more.
Thanks, brother.
Now Luca's like the local butcher now. I mean, this guy over here. I like it though. I should bring in some too, man. Anyway, so yeah, I still like Microsoft, but you're bouncing around here. For a daily, I think we'll stay away and look for pullbacks to go short. Sorry, to go long. It's somewhere in here. I'm going to find a level. I haven't really found one yet. I'm still just looking right now. We're 20 cents in the money on Google and still making moves to the downside here. So if there's any name that I'm really just, looking at right here, it's Google to the short side. But I just think Microsoft a little frothy. It's a huge position for me. And I'm not taking any out, but I'm debating that right now.
Hold it.
They have a nice moat around them for sure, but that chat AI stuff is definitely, in my opinion, way upsized on the hype there. I don't.
Well, it depends on your time frame. I don't know.
Oh no, I mean I'm holding everything forever.
Well,
it's just if you're going to swing that, I just think it's gone too far. It was
as a
not
swing?
a great.
Oh yeah, as a swing, it's probably.
It's 230 was their report. They guided lower, did not have a great report. You guys can go back and look at it if you want. I feel like it's just too high. It's up 30. Sorry, it's up 20. No, not 230 to how far is it now? 275. So you're at $40 on 230. So you're up like 15 or so %. I just feel like it's too much. That's all.
Yeah, on a swing basis, I'd agree with you. I think when you hold for the long term, it's going to
I'm
be there.
holding
They're going to
everything.
be a winner off this in the long term. But yeah, you're right about that. Ford is next.
I was reading a really interesting article on that on the weekend, talking a little bit about how there's a lot of, they actually use the word trickery in ChatGPT in the sense that one of the things it's trained on is basically all of Wikipedia. So anything you can find on Wikipedia, ChatGPT is trained on. All they've done is essentially just add the conversational terms that humans use to interact with. So it's not like you're getting new or different information. It's just the way that it's being presented to you. So it was an interesting article. Anyways, yeah, let's talk about Ford because there's more coming out about this right now. We had Ford on the watch list this morning because of this. They're going to spend $3.5 billion on their own battery plant in Michigan. So a few more details coming out on this right now during this announcement, guys. There's nothing groundbreaking on this, but Ford having a nice day on that anyways, up 2% here. So it looks like they're going to try and work towards, anyways, building a plant that will supply them with batteries.
They didn't have a great report relative to GM or in general, but you know what? It feels like it's found the 50 period on the daily as support. That's 1270. And then I look back at this because I didn't really look for Ford today. I mean, right at the open, you're essentially bouncing off the 50-period moving average, and you've only been going one way. I don't know if there's something in the afternoon for the stock. Just gonna throw that out there. Ford has a tendency to sometimes not move in the afternoons, like find a level and sort of barcode there. So I don't know if I'd chase this long. Maybe that 1270 comes into play. Like we get CPI tomorrow, so you might look for a level like that to be good. We've talked about Meta and we've talked about Google, but I have not explained. I'm in Micron, and if you've been following the show, you know that I usually short Intel, but I lost shorting Intel today. But Micron, relatively weak compared to the chip space, or just the market in general. It's flat with the market down. So while it was in the downtrend, I did go scalp short. We were able to take some out there for 20 cent winner and then tight stop loss. I then got into early right here, so just said, no, why am I shorting it on a breakdown? It's lunchtime. So I got out and then started shorting it off the lower highs, which is what I'm doing now, like 60.15. I added to it at 60, a lower high there, and I'm scalping it out at 59.80. Just want to play the relative weakness that I see in Micron compared to some of the other names, because I don't know whether you're looking at NVIDIA, whether you're looking at AMD, whether you're looking, even Intel today, they're all pretty strong. And Micron kind of lagging a bit. I know it's flat, but that's into a strong market, into its compatriots being a little bit stronger today.
I hear Rob talking in the background. Thanks, Rob, for everything that he's doing, setting everything up as well. But yeah, I didn't look at Ford today. The only thing was I just looked right now, and it is normally a stock that we like there. It just bounced off the 200 period somewhere down here. I thought I saw it on the 3-minute. And then my chart just disappears. But anyways, the level down here for Ford was around 270. It's right there, right off the open. It's really just gone up since the open. So again, not a missed opportunity, but definitely an opportunity there on Ford, taking out some of those highs. If you get back to 13, which we're at right now, that could be a level, but I'm more looking at VWAP, which is down here at 1290. So yeah, for me, Ford, I like the name, but I don't necessarily like the stock at these levels. 1450 the high, 11 the bottom, until you're somewhere around there. I mean, here's the daily chart. So here's 14, I mean, that's 15, but here's 1450 right into there, and there's the bottom of 11 that we're talking about. For now, you're just in between. They took that bath on Rivian. We heard that last week, and then they did have that 65-cent special dividend, which is part of the reason why you're down 65 cents from here. Ford should really be at about 1370 if you add that back. So I take that in consideration when you think about it, but that's Ford for now.
Well, there, just to catch everyone up, if you missed it this morning, the head of Google Search was interviewed by a German newspaper over the weekend, in which he basically said everyone needs to take a breather, everyone needs to calm down a little bit when it comes to hallucinating, his word, about these chatbots. So Google trying to pump the brakes a little bit after what happened last week.
Yeah, well, I think all we care about is the trend, realistically. So as far as we're concerned as traders, you can see what happened to Alphabet in the last 2 days. Well, I guess you can count count Thursday, like the end part of Thursday. You've had this top, like 95 to 95 and a half. You've had this 94 bottom, which is the 50 period on the daily. And essentially, if you've just been going long off of that 94 level and then kind of short off of the highs, now it's a lower high today to make it trickier because it's relatively weak, but that's been the recipe to work. So you kind of nail that down, and the longs were good off 94, and they gave you into VWAP, but then, and this is my issue, is that I started shorting it in front of that 95, in front of VWAP, instead of waiting for it to get to the high. But the 95 short's been absolute money every time you take it. And even if, look, this could break down and the market comes in, it's still got 93.60 to 94 as a support level going back to last week. So I just feel like you trade it inside the range and kill all the noise. If it breaks the range down, okay, then we can start looking at it, maybe backfilling and filling in the gap to the downside. If it breaks the top at 95, maybe you're looking at longs, but neither one of those things has happened. So that $2 range inside of it, you need to kind of just capture it on Alphabet all day long. I made this mistake, and that's the thing. We talk about this all the time. Wait for the key price levels. I made this mistake by shorting it off of VWAP instead of what was working. Only play 94, only play the top on Alphabet. That's what I'm going to do this afternoon and just see if we can't rinse and repeat. At some point, 95 might break, though.
Yeah, we were playing the 94.80 area, and we got out there because we just had too many shares, but we didn't really. It's just we hit this all the way to the downside. 94.80, out some 94.20s there as it just bled to the downside. Then we tried it again right there and got out. So that was about a 5-cent hit. 7-cent hit, sorry. And then unfortunately, as we were prepping that trade of the day there, it did come back up to 95, which should have been shorted again. But instead I got 68s and then I got 75. So as this comes back down in, I still like Google to the short side. And I just didn't want to get everybody all up at anything. What I was talking about with AI is that, of course, I believe it's the future. Google's my #1 holding for my long-term account, and I added to it last week, and I love Microsoft and all that. So it's just, I get the feeling that some of this talk reminds me of a certain sector here, whether or not it be cannabis, whether or not it be blockchain, anything, just crypto in general, whereby you just get a lot of talk. And some of these names, and unfortunately Google is going to be a victim sort of it here, not working out for them. But you're going to see a lot of these companies like a C3 AI, right? I mean, there's going to be pure plays in here that are going to work, and then some that aren't, right? And I think a pure play for AI is a Microsoft, is a Google, is a Meta, names like IBM, things like that. And maybe it might be in AI as well. But you can't tell me that this doesn't remind you a little bit here of some of that blockchain craziness, where you'd have a stock go from basically, we had a company named Long Island Iced Tea, change it to Long Island Blockchain. I'm not even sure they were selling iced tea in the first place.
I think they were.
Were they? I don't know.
They sold drinks.
Did they sell drinks? But anyways, and then they flipped it up, and then so you just get a look like this, up 100% in a couple days, and then goes from 28 right down to 22 the very next day, and now you're bouncing around a little bit. So anyways, needless to say, I'm just thinking that Microsoft is getting a bump, from my opinion, on this AI talk, and I just think that sometimes you got to take profit when profit's there. And I still love Microsoft, but that's sort of my talk there about AI. And here comes Google right back down again. So back, oops, that's still my AI chart. Flip it over again. So you're right back to VWAP one more time. And like I said, we have enough shares to be able just to sort of get in and out. I love the fact that we'll reload this thing if it comes back. But for right now, oh, actually I have a bid at 46. Let's see if it comes down here. That's that bottom right there, 47. So we'll see if it hits a 46. You know what? What the hell? We could just take a 49 here if it breaks back lower. See, we just missed that. Get a little greedy there. Should have probably took a 50. I'm bidding 49s now on Google, but I want to be short the remainder of the day.
Just seeing this OCUL back to day highs here on big time volume. Just took out $6 there, but looks like it's failing. So anyone watching that one still, there was a positive eye treatment that came from them this morning. This was kind of a cool note on Amazon just out over lunchtime. This is, so Zoox is their self-driving unit. Successfully conducted a test between two buildings. So between two programmed, obviously, buildings, but it was on public roads, which is the cool part. So 1 mile apart, took passengers, real people, between two buildings 1 mile apart in a test today for their self-driving unit, guys. So they also say in that they want to go from 2,000 up to 2,500 employees in that unit by the end of this year.
Zook. I like Zooks? Zooks, it apparently. I didn't trade Amazon today, but there's always a but in there. 100 could be in play this afternoon. And I know it's just a psychological number, but it has been topping under 99.68 is the current high of the day. And there's some room. Like I said, if the market goes like that 2-3% type of move, there's an opportunity in here for Amazon to get going. It's up 1.5, which is exactly where the market is. So I feel like, I mean, Meta feels better and Microsoft feels a little bit better too, but that 100 level could be something. I really don't see any other trade, to be honest with you. If it does get up there, there might be a fade off the high of the day because it's been barcoding, but this just feels, you know, like if you have something, like to me, I see Alphabet, I see Meta, I see Microsoft, and I kind of like all three of them a little bit more, which I guess goes without saying because that's what we're trading, but this VWAP is holding on Google. I don't want to get another leg out because I want to give it a chance to flush in here, but what I am going to take some more shares out of is maybe Micron, because the chip names are getting a little bit of a bid again. I got one leg out in front of 80s. I might take some out 90s because I want some of these fills up at like 60-10 instead of just the 60s. So I'm going to try and get some out on the 90s over there on Micron. Amazon, unless it cracks the high of the day, I don't know if I'll be that interested in it. If it breaks the high, that 100 level will be in play for me, though.
Yeah, Amazon, I mean, we only had one trade in it today, and it was a short, and, we just kept, it was a good one to begin with. We're actually up. This is how, and we always deal with this here on the show, of course, but like, how could you go short Amazon and actually be up in it? Well, I mean, we took it all out here when it went to 97 and most of it out at 96. And then you guys could even hear me when we were in trouble here as it was breaking above 97.50. I was talking about getting it out. So we got out of our Amazon and then the last piece out at 98 when it broke higher. And then we don't have to worry about all this. So I would say you're still going to be short Amazon against 100. Missed it here today when it was up there that high. So yeah, that just happened right now. Let's watch out for Amazon up at 100. I think that's a really good short. And I guess we can sort of be through with all that. What's up to Adam to lose here? You talked about why am I not in AMD again? And I need to do a better job of actually holding something for the rest of the day. Like I just get so excited when we see profits, and AMD is going to be a good stock for me today, but we were buying this 81.50 and then getting it out up here at 82.15. Then when it dropped back down, we got out at that very level right there that we were in, and that's 81.30. And now it just shot up right up to the upside, and we missed all of that. But look at it just take this 50 period all the way up. So yeah, I'm feeling a little foolish here on AMD. We should have done better by holding that one. So good call. I'm sure NVIDIA's the same way, just cruising to the, actually, I don't think NVIDIA, yeah, I was going to say no, because, yeah, I remember 218 being a key level there, and we're right back to it right now. So, yeah, there's 218 when we took it out the first time. Sorry, that's 217. Nice move up, and right now you're bouncing around 217.60 here. I wonder if there's something on, yeah, look at that. Nice little move here on NVIDIA. The thing is, remember, tomorrow at 8:30, so we only have another hour and a half in the market, and then we have CPI. So a lot of these big tech names are waiting to see about that number to come through. So, yeah, we just took out another piece here at 52. So we did get our 49 and our 50 tier here on Google. I do want to look at them at that AMD again. Should still be in that one.
This is the thing, like, sometimes you got to accept, like, you'll see me, I'm in Micron right now. But, this morning, this was me on Intel doing, like, that usual thing. it's just been strong. And some of these chip names, you gotta respect the strength and the hustle in some of these names. Intel had a terrible quarter. Like there's nothing, like I don't care who you talk to. Like I heard things like the worst quarter ever and that kind of nonsense and shenanigans when it comes to Intel. But at the end of the day, it's catching a bid and you can see it bouncing off this. So if I come in tomorrow, when I come in tomorrow, if I come tomorrow, if we get a down print on CPI, like I look at something like the gap down on earnings, it holds a higher low at 27.50, does one little duck and dive underneath that for like a few seconds at the open, a few minutes at the open on Friday, and has been off to the races. Well, that's a big level. So tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, if we get a huge dip, and I'm like, oh, I want to see if I can buy the dip in something, Intel actually sets up there at 27.5 to 27.40. Now, obviously, I was wrong to have shorted it there at 28. We talk about this all the time. That was probably a darn good reversal when it took out that 28 long. And that's the other end of the coin. Your bias sometimes gets the best of you because that's a strong level. Hold a higher low, break back out to 28. You have all the range from Thursday's highs that it's gotten to. But, you flip from there, and I'll just short Micron because Micron's weak today. So always find that relative strength and weakness if that's what you're going for. Ooh, we haven't got – do we talk Tesla? We didn't talk about Tesla, right?
No, not there, no.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Tesla here. Again, the afternoons with Tesla can be a little bit choppy, let's just say. But Tesla's was a good one off of like 193 earlier. Tried the breakouts above 95. They weren't very good, but 193 feels like a level. As the market comes back in, I'll be looking for dips off this 93 here in Tesla, about $1 away from that. But that's another one of these strong names. Obviously, the market kind of hit a top and has been barcoding. So I want to have support levels on strong names and levels we want to short off the top, like Micron and Google, but looking for Tesla longs down here, 193 and VWAP.
Okay. So I have a new trade idea here, and I'm just debating it right now. It's Roblox. You have the 50 period right here at 35. You have the 200 at 95. You have VWAP at 90. Then you have this break spot right here at 80 that's coming into play. So I'm going to try a break here of 80 on Roblox. So you break back down below 80. Let's go short, and then we can get out here at 35. Well worth the risk to me. Actually, I mean, now that I see where we are right now, we can almost just go short right now on Roblox because we do have that protection of that upside move here back to 35 right there. So yeah, we'll try to go short. I mean, we could just punch the short if we wanted to. Let's oh shoot, there it goes. Yeah, we should have maybe taken it a little bit earlier. We'll punch in a little bit there, get a couple D prints in. That's never a good sign. And then we'll average it back to 89 or so, and then see if it goes. So right now we are short, I think 83s, sorry, not 84s. Oh, we got 83s there. Okay. So now we're gonna have to wait to see where this goes. We have a blended price, but it's gonna show 83 on there, which is fine. I'm gonna go short Roblox. I am short Roblox right now. Not going to go. We are short Roblox right now into that, and I'm just gonna give it to 35. If we break above 35, we're gone. Remember, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every day. So
what?
Yeah, we do, yeah. So it's 230 now, so watch out for that trade coming through. But 35, we're just going to give it to this. I mean, even on the 3-minute chart right here, VWAP is right here. You have the 50 period, and they're starting to make a move down now. So, again, I don't want to, the trend here on the daily has been down on this name. You're just now going to break red, it looks like, on the day here for Roblox, as Google's fallen below 50 now. So that's so far so good on that one. But if Roblox doesn't want to go, we have an out. And that's the bottom line here. If it goes down and we're right about the market and it doesn't want to hold 12.5, let's just say it doesn't hold 12.5, then how the heck is Roblox going to hold this level? It's not going to hold 80. We want to go more short at 80 there. What's up, Neil? Hope everything's good. But I want to go short at 80 right there. And then also if the market breaks, how does it hold at 65? It doesn't. So I'm going to go Roblox short side right now. We already in it and we're looking for more.
So you said a line in there. I'm like, so why? Because Stone Cold said so, man. You had an opportunity to drop it because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, every now and then I'm just like, oh, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Because I know he's going to drop it, and then it didn't happen. You'll get it next time.
Yeah, I'll get it next time.
At least Stone Cold's a legend. I just got a long, we'll see about this one. Microsoft in here, I did clean that wick, but it's coming. It keeps coming back. So 71, it's hard to see. This is 271. That's 270 level. So I just got a 71.05 long. I want to give it like 10 cents beneath that 270. If it gets back into VWAP, I want to be able to get something out and then see if this one can hold up. But the market is rolling over here. It looks like the shorts are going to be good. And I'm trying to find, I said I'd get another leg out on Micron, but what I should do is cancel this. That bid, get one a little bit tighter into VWAP as the market comes down here. And if we can get the rinse and repeat above 60s, we'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, market's starting to come back a little bit. I don't want to say heavily, but if you see what's happening, we could always break the channel in the other direction. I know it's been a strong day, but if 12.5 gets taken out on the NASDAQ, a little bit of room to the downside here. So you want to have some exposure to the shorts and always have an out. My out on Microsoft is going to be at essentially, well, sorry, not 260, 270, 90-ish, like maybe a couple of pennies beneath that, but I don't want to give it up too much below that level. If we get a reload on Alphabet, fantastic. I'm not sure that's going to happen at this point. We could just be headed for that 94. Now remember, 94 has been a really, really good support level for Alphabet here. So I definitely want to be getting out in front of that and respect that it could just make a bounce and suddenly we can reverse longs off that level in Google.
All right.
Money. There it is, man. Finally, we were pretty patient with that Google trade. It's just come back in. I know Neil's just talking about it, so there it is right there. And then here comes Roblox as well. We just took a 76 fill for 10%, which is absolutely nothing. But the market is dropping down a little bit, so we will take a little bit of profit right there on Roblox and see if it wants to continue to make a move down. It just screamed there, so I was bidding 75, so we'll take it. Was it 75 or 76? 76. So nice move down there temporarily. Only 10%, nothing really worth it there. Google, we already talked about that. What about Amazon? Yeah, okay, so now it's fallen down. I was hoping it would come back a little bit. Microsoft at that 270 is pretty interesting. I'm just gonna have a quick look here to make sure these other names that we're looking at. We could talk about Bed Bath & Beyond a little bit here if we did want to, yeah. So again, we went short, we were getting out, and then up here at, was it 210? We had a long, then we got some out there, and then we're flat. It's just back and forth here on Bed Bath & Beyond. Not overly happy with the way that was traded by me today. But at the same time, we just kept shorting it. And then it just didn't do anything, waiting for a big breakout. I thought right here, once we took that 205, that we could have been in for something, but it just didn't come through. So Bed Bath & Beyond right now, really not coming through at all. We're just gonna have to wait for that one. So I don't know, man. 210, yeah. Are you shorted again?
No, but I just want to say something because you see on Sean's chart there. Can you go to Sean's chart for a quick second? Yeah, leave it up there. So you know how it breaks back down at 2? See all the outs that you're taking there underneath 2? So the reason Bed Bath & Beyond is my single worst stock today is I was shorting more or less all the same levels. And come to my chart for a second. But I was so greedy with this. It was pure unadulterated greed that when it came down, I took 10% out at 195 and was like, yeah, we're going to see 175 today. Screw this. It's just going to only go down. We got this one by the you-know-what. And that's just, it's a little bit arrogant, too, because it gave you the move, and those have been good. And I just kept shorting it back and not taking profit when it came out, so I'm just going to hold it forever. And then it ended up losing. So part of the problem is, yes, I was getting out when I had to get stopped out, which is fine, but I wasn't taking profit. And we talk about this all the time. Sometimes it is a scalp trade and you should be scalping the stock, and other times it is a hold on to the trade. When you have already missed this much of the move, maybe it's a scalp trade. So we talk about winners, losers, and how we can get better. If you've got it here or you have it up here, yeah, let it ride. Give it some room to go. You've already got this one by the you-know-what. But if you have it at the bottom like this and you've chased, then you scalp it out because you got to pay yourself and you have missed out on 15% of the move. So I just wanted to get that one out of the way because I wasn't happy with the way that I traded it today. Well, here's a nice little bounce in the market. So this could give me some reload opportunities on, I almost said Meta, on Micron, I should say. On Micron, I want to get back on the short here if it gives me a chance up in those 60s as it starts creeping up a little bit. This could also mean, because Microsoft didn't hold up, but maybe it now wants to. Yeah, see, it wicked me out there. Did it break? Yeah, it kind of broke. It's hard to see with this chart, and there's nothing I can do about it, really. But it did wick me out, and it's still beneath VWAP, so I'm not really going to reload it. However, Meta is still relatively strong. This can be reloaded, I do think. I'm going to take some more in front of this 179. It just got down to 179.50. I want to be long this name. If we're going to hold 12.5, I feel like Meta is the one to go. And we like some other names to the short side that we can work with to be sure. Like Micron and Google, I feel are pretty safe on the short sides for now. And yeah, I see Skyferry talking about Wish. Wish 84 cents, holding till 89. My first thought was I had a chance to short a dollar on Wish and didn't do it today. Like, that's my first thought.
You probably wish you did, though.
Why didn't I think of that? No, that's a good one. But look at this move. Look at the over-under. Here's a dollar. There's the wick above. There's the lower high. What's that? Literally $1. Again, you're short here. It tests 98. Like, that's low-hanging fruit if you're looking to short these runners. It was a Citron report, a positive report from Citron, I think, that had them moving to the upside. And
Brendan can probably have
yeah, Brendan can confirm that. If I'm wrong about that, you guys let me know if I'm wrong about that, but I'm sure Brendan would as well. But I think it was just that. And look, sometimes this happens. You get an easy trade to the short side. There's nothing left for that short unless I think it pops back up, gets above VWAP, and then you take some fills, in and around that 90 to 95 area. I'll be waiting around for that because I think right now most people are probably thinking of the long in front of 74, 75. Maybe you give it to 74, 75 on those longs.
We have a super chat here.
But thank you for the super chat there, No Direction. You guys talk about my life.
Here it is right here on the screen.
You got it? Oh, go for it.
Yeah, so Citron, again, I mean, this is just the note you can see here, optimistic tweet. So you could talk about the rescheduling and all that kind of stuff. What is it there? Scheduled to report on February 23rd, so that's coming through soon. And then, also the plan of the 150 job cuts. So that's probably it. And I remember Brendan mentioning that 17% of the workforce. So thanks for that right here. So I just didn't want to talk again. Shout out to Brendan again. I mean, what doesn't this guy do? Besides let his hair grow, apparently. This guy's always got
fresh
the
cut
hot.
every time.
But here it is right here. He sent me, last week I was asking about the DXY. So here it is right now. You can see, so this is the dollar, right? So the dollar strength. So we're going to look at that right now. And you can see right here, just a 1 minute chart. It's free on TradingView for 1 minute. Although I keep getting all these ads. You guys are more like the masters of like ad blocker. I got to make sure I have it up. Does ad blocker even work on TradingView? I don't think so. Oh, it does. Okay, so I'll have to figure out why because they keep getting them popping up. But there it is right now. As you can see, the move to the downside right now in the dollar. So we had a little bit of an upside move created, but now you started to drift down a little bit. So that's where I looked at, roadblocks and things like that. And, the fact that right now we started to drift back down in the dollar. Generally, if you're going to be short equity, especially NASDAQ, you want to see the dollar start to go back up to the upside, which is why we did have a little bit of a bleed down here in the NASDAQ while the dollar was going back up. So you see the correlation? This is what I'm doing, man. I'm just adding, it's called toolbox, and putting more tools in there. So right now you're seeing it starting to go back to the upside, the dollar. So that's, we'll let here, Google, look at it fall down. So we took what I was getting at was, we took a piece out right there because we noticed the dollar, but now it's falling back down. So look at Google starting to go again. Here comes the Roblox as well. We almost got that reload. We're at 89. It went to 88. What are we going to do? We're trying to get some more short in front of VWAP, which is 90.91. We just missed that Roblox. Let's see if it falls back down. But to think that I'm going to sit here and trade blind when I damn well know that the dollar is going, back and forth with tech names, no. So we're adding more into our toolbox here, sharpening up the sword so that we can continue to, provide you guys with the best trades possible and the best reasoning as well. Because generally speaking, I'm just looking at levels, right? But then I said to myself, how can I hold some of these a little bit longer? Well, let's look at some external factors like the dollar, right? So that's what we're doing. We're going to watch the DXY there and watch out for the dollar. Because if it's still tanking, like if the dollar is tanking and I'm long, then that's reason for me to hold equity. And the same reason what's happening now. As the dollar continues to make moves upside, I'm going to play off support and resistance. I'm going to play off support and resistance on that as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. And so far, so good here on that little new piece into my pie.
Ooh, piece in the pie. Now you have me thinking more food again, but
my mom made this blueberry pie. We went to visit her yesterday, so my kids were like all over that, man. So. I try to stay away from that.
I can only.
You know what I'm saying?
Debs is probably throwing down. I'm not even.
Yeah, she's throwing down pies. I mean, come on. Whenever your mother makes a pie.
Yeah. Oh, I had like. Come
on.
I'm West Indian.
My grandmother was there too.
My family was West Indian. I got like from Antigua. My cousin had sent up like a rum cake.
There we go.
So I got to throw that one down this weekend. Oh my goodness! So when you just have it sitting for like a year, it's been sitting. And then it's just adding rum to it every month, and then eventually it's just so good.
Ciao Roblox.
Now that's all I can think about. I want to talk Lucid for a quick second here because, look, if Lucid rolls over, there's $10 might come into play again, and then you could have a breakdown at that $10 level. I just have my eye out on it. Looks like I don't get the reload on Micron. That kind of sucks, but it does mean the short is working. But I did move my next bid back into VWAP, so I'm not willing to take 70s. I'm looking to grab some 60s here. I'm not going to get the pop to the upside to get me the reload because, quite frankly, the market's falling like a rock. However, I am taking. Ooh, I should get out first on Google here. Not out altogether, but took some more out at 25. I got to zoom right in. I got another one of these wicks here. I apologize for that wick. There you go. 94 quarters Alphabet just got to. If I think 94 could be support on Alphabet, then I want to make sure we're paying ourselves out on the way down because that's been a big support level for Google every time it's gotten to 94. I'll keep trying to clean this wick up. Eventually, it's going to work here. Yeah, but that short, all good things might come to an end if it finds a bid. You don't think it's going to work the next time I clean it up?
What do you think? What do you honestly think?
I give it 1 chance in 3. Watch, I'm going to do it here live. Here. So you can edit these wicks out because I know it's just an old dark pool wick, and then I do that and then see if it whether or not, oh, there it goes. I just jinxed myself, man. It just did it.
I just want to say to Renata, first of all,
I just jinxed it.
You're saying here, Renata, you're thanking me so much for the Roblox short. So I'll spend the money for you because you put it in there, right? But ultimately, it's you guys having faith in me as a trader and faith in your own abilities as well, because like you got to be the ones pulling the trigger. So Renata, definitely don't count yourself short on any sort of a play like that, right? I mean, I wish we had more shares short, to be completely honest with you, Renata. We tried to get more on that bump, and we just missed it by a penny right now. So that kind of sucks. I am sitting here at 71. If it blasts, we'll get a fill here at 71 to get a little bit more out. It's not really moving, so let's not think that this stock is really getting clobbered at all, but hopefully it does come back down to the downside as the dollar sort of eased off a little bit. Just like Neil, we rang the register there on Google. Google's been such a great trade for me today, man. I mean, we went long early and then short late, and the only one out, we got stopped out one time right there. So it was a good short for us. I think we could just continue to hold it. Not that I think we're going to. I am going to continue to hold it. I'm just going to hold it all the way down here. We have enough outs now. We have 20% left, so there's probably 8 outs here. So let's just continue to hold it. I don't do a great job of like getting my max position for the best fill, but we'll continue to hold out on that one.
In fairness, it never really got to 95 on Alpha. Like it kind of did, but it was it was hard to. It was
95.
On Alpha, we're talking about Alphabet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it got to 94, 95.
I know, but like on the consolidation, the lower consolidation, when it looked really, really good, the second time through, because like this short, like the time it went to 95, it went to VWAP, right? So like the last trade is this one here, when it got to like 94.86 to 94.90. Like this time it went to 95, but this time on the lower high, which is the most recent entry point, you never really got a chance at 95. So this is not going to be a full position. Like this is a full position because it goes to 95. This is not because it goes lower high, if that makes any sense to you guys. You don't get the perfect price. Sometimes like the second or third time you get that level, Luca even said it. Sometimes you don't want the fill because that means it's really good because you can't actually get the fill. So I see you in the chat, Dan, talking about Ape. I actually, you know what? There's some good longs every time Ape dips that need to be taken. I'll be the first one to admit it because there's that hedge going on. The next time I see it depressed or dipping at the open, I'm going to look for dips into support levels on the stock because it always seems to find a reasonable bottom in this uptrend ever since the news. And the vote isn't coming until next month either.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have the vote. Yeah, there's lots of stuff happening. Okay, so there it is. We just take a 68 fill right there on Roblox. So we'll do bearish action because we're bearish right now. We're short right now, 50 cents in the money on Google. We just got a 20 piece here on Roblox to the downside. So, we talked about that trade. And if we're going to spit this out a little bit here, just so you guys know, I'm not spitballing ideas other than ones that I like this 34.80. We talked about why we liked it. We were below all these levels right now, and the market's below the 50 period. And we talked about Fed coming tomorrow. Well, it's not Fed, but CPI coming tomorrow, which is going to directly influence what Fed Chair Powell and the rest of them are looking at. So, yeah, obviously coming into today, we are looking at a depressed NASDAQ move here. So there's Roblox. So that's, again, remember Roblox, it's 0.5%. So this is why when Neil and I talk about like, oh, how much money do you make today? Or what percent did you take out of the market? Like, I don't know. All I know is Roblox was up 0.1 when I took this trade, a couple fills now, and you're down 0.5. So I don't look at it like cost of capital or anything. I have a certain amount of money in my account. That's Day Trade the World. It's a prop firm, right? So we have the buying power there. And then I take some of that and I put it here and I mix it around and hopefully spit out some profitable trades. So there's one here on Roblox. We're out of 40% already, 4 outs. It came right into the level that we talked about, right? So here it is. It's 67. This is the exact trade we talked about. We should be short at 90, but we missed it by 1 penny. So we're short at 83, but it's right at this level that we talked about, and we're out of 40%. So to me, that's a perfect trade. We barbecue up the profits exactly the way we wanted it. So it's like a medium rare steak right now. Hopefully this can continue to go to the downside and we'll get it just right. And then we'll look at, honestly, this level right there is 65. That's where we're at right now. So other than that, it's just a free fall down. Like maybe this pre-market level of, well, that's only 60. Yeah, Roblox doesn't really have too much in it right now. I don't know how dramatic this move is going to be. So I'll probably take out another piece, maybe even right now. Like if I can't find levels, and then here's the Dixie. So that's starting to see, here's another ad. Why trade? TrustForex.com. I don't know. But I'm going to watch out for that one right there. I swear I have ad blocker on this, but maybe it's not turned on properly. But see the DXY starting to go back up here. So that gives me reason here why the NASDAQ's coming back down. And again, just giving you another name, another thing that I'm looking at to justify holding on to things a little bit longer. So that's that, man. We're sharpening our tools, baby.
Yeah, and sharpening tools. Oh, Apple broke VWAP. Thank you, DJ, for that one. I don't think we looked at Apple this morning.
There's an out on Roblox.
Yeah, 179 is looking like it's going to get tested here. I just got a reload on Meta. We'll take it out if this can't hold VWAP, but that's it's up 3%. I'm going to take that bounce play almost every single chance we get it. Do want to get some out on... Oh, I already talked about Micron, but it was Lucid I wanted to talk about next because this one has been lagging the move. And if it starts to roll over, I do feel like it could absolutely flush. And I look back over at Tesla, that 193 on Tesla. I still like the notion of the bid here. But if we get too far below 12.5, which I think we're getting there now, we're now 10 points beneath it on the NASDAQ, then I'm not going to really like these dip buys as much. I like that when you're holding support, that if you could have held 12.5 in here on the NASDAQ, let me blow it up so you can see it. If you could have held this, then I like those dip buys a little bit better. But if you're still pushing to the downside, I don't need to be picking those up when the trend is too big. We already have the shorts that we like, so no need to be too aggressive on weakness there. That's me canceling the Tesla. I'll just go with Meta at this point. It looks a little bit stronger holding VWAP. Microsoft couldn't catch a bid at 71. It's trying to at 270. If the NASDAQ gets back above those levels, I'll feel a little bit better about going for those long trades. But I'm feeling like we're looking for short setups here. Uber was one. I mean, look, you guys are talking about Uber 34. Yeah, Uber 34 is a good one. It's already broken down here. The second I saw that, I was like, if it's 34, you got to have 34. So if it pops, I like the shorts there. And why do I immediately know that without even looking? Because last week, we ended the day on Friday with a 34 double bottom that was good longs on Uber. So beneath that number, I do feel like it's got a bit of a gap that can come to the downside. So shout out to the chat for reminding about that, because I wrote down Uber 34 this morning and then didn't really trade off the level. Looks like we can have shorts off it now.
Yeah, so what's up to Bobby there? Good question. Why does the dollar move when that affects NASDAQ? So an upside move in the dollar, why does that affect NASDAQ names? Well, I mean, first of all, we just covered some Google right there at 13 on the move down. So, I mean, this is just one of these. I have to do it, Bobby, and then we'll talk about this. That's for the professor as well, of course. So right there, professor likes it. We have, all right, so, many of these companies, of course, deal with huge supply issues and things like that are outside of the U.S. border, and they got to pay for employees and factories and just expenses, and they got to pay that in U.S. dollars. So unfortunately, when you're making, different currencies and then have to patriate it back into the U.S., you are going to take a hit when you do have a stronger dollar, right? So, and plus that will also affect some of the policy decisions. The stronger dollar you have, definitely going to affect importing and exporting. So many of these NASDAQ, that's why if you had a company that's only dealing with U.S. based, then customers and expenses and everything like that, then they're not going to really focus too much on the dollar. But then when you're like a company like, Apple that's selling their phones worldwide, and all of a sudden, you could sell something for 100 UN. Well, next thing you know, that used to be worth 100 US dollars, but now it's only worth 80 US dollars. So that same phone that you've sold for, again, euros or yen or whatever, you now need to bring that money back and then report it to us and to the market, and you're reporting those in US dollars. So when those sort of have an effect, that's part of the reason and not solely all of it. So there's more into it, but it's just about US dollar strength, and you can overlay charts into this. Of course, over 2020, 2021, 2022, you're going to see the dollar, huge different moves there. Dollar going down in 2020, and you could see tech names just skyrocketing to the moon. And then just over the last year, the dollar making huge highs, and then obviously the NASDAQ going completely the other way. So there is some reasons there for that, but that is that. So we'll continue to monitor that and that relationship, but that's generally speaking why that will be in effect. And you probably heard too, throughout all of 2022, Microsoft and these guys pre-reporting, and they blamed Forex headwinds into that. So there were a lot of companies with that. So that's part of the reason why there. So that's what that is.
Yeah, it's a great one. You know what? As a matter of fact, you just clip that and make it a video and put it on the weekend.
No, we'll do more. We'll do a better job of that. But you are right, though.
No, I'm half joking. Yes, when we do them, we can be a little more detailed, show some charts, all that kind of stuff. But that's the kind of thing, like that added value or just a little bit of extra.
I also have
flavor,
another thing to say. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go.
No, it's about we have. So I'm gonna have to be leaving at 3:30. So you're gonna have. I'm just going to announce it right now. Fahad's going to be in this spot because he was such a big hit. No, but he was so good last time.
I know. It wouldn't have been much of a surprise because they would have figured it out.
He was just so good last time that we're going to have Fahad back. So if you have any questions, bring them to the show because you weren't here last time. And Fahad asked.
When I was gone, right?
Right, so. Yeah. And Fahad asked about, why does the NASDAQ and Microsoft moving together? And it was really good questions. And then I handled those just like you can handle them as well. And the viewers did like that. So, yeah, my wife's not feeling well tonight. And it's my daughter's first baseball practice because she's trying out for rep and everything like that. And then she's got rep hockey practice coming out as well. So we're paying the big bucks, and she's going into some more clinics and things like that. 8 years old, and she was asked to sort of play up for the rep. It's her first year playing hockey, and she's already asked, which in Canada, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
you know how competitive sports, especially hockey, it's like kind of like baseball maybe down south or golf or something like that.
Think of it like hockey here in the entire country, Canada, is like think of football in Texas and Florida. No, but it's that level. Yeah. It's a little different. Like football down there.
It's Fahad o'clock, baby.
Dude, the first summer I spent in Florida when I was in university, I remember picking up the paper in August, and there was a high school football player.
Yeah, I mean,
and the guy was academically ineligible, and it was in the paper.
Yeah.
That a high school dude, I'm like, what is wrong with you? This kid's 17 years old.
I mean, football in the South everywhere. I mean,
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
They all don't play. But anyways, market is trying to bounce off 12.5, so I might add to meta here if we're going to hold these levels. I got one bid. I'm on the bid to try and get more shares in front of 179 because if we bounce from here, I do like meta. I wasn't able to get more Micron to the south side. I'll try if I can. And then Tesla was the other one. I actually canceled my Tesla. We'll see if that was a good decision, canceling Tesla to go long, because Tesla was at 193 level that we were going to pick up, and then I decided I didn't want to do. I thought we'd be getting the fill-in. I mean, it just doesn't want to come down another 15 cents to pick me up, seriously, on Meta. But that 193 on Tesla, it's nowhere close to it. There's still a chance that could be good. Because if we're back above 12.5 and the NASDAQ's picking it back up, I'm going to throw my bid back in here on Tesla to see if I can't get a fill down here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Brad wants to test something about the board. I want to see what's going to happen right here. Apparently some notifications, we can start posting them up on there. So the next time, yeah, but it has to be a super chat or something, right? So we're going to, there it is. What is that? Integrated stuff. Oh, it said $20. Yeah, that doesn't look that great like that. We'll figure it. That's who it was.
We'll figure it out.
Said it was $100.
It's hard to see that one.
Yeah, that was tough. But anyways, we're gonna figure that out with Streamlab. Thanks for trying it out. Look, I said it. We had a meeting today.
New things.
We had a meeting today, and I was like, we gotta try new things. Yeah. So we had that board there. We tried the trade of the day. I think it went out pretty good. So we're going to try that. Every time someone posts a super chat, we're going to try to Streamlab it up there on the screen, just so everybody at home can also see that we got another super chat, because that's what it's all about. We don't really, the price up to you guys, how much you want to, but that was pretty cool, man. And maybe if someone, is it still on right now?
No.
It's off. Okay, I was going to say.
So I just want to, right here for someone here, I just want to, Family Adventures just said something about Meta that I don't 100% disagree with. So Family Adventures in the chat, by the way, if you want to talk to us in the chat, just hit the subscribe, and then you're able to be in the chat. So if you're only listening, you're wondering how do you engage with us, it is a subscribers only chat. and they've asked, I think Meta's a short going into the close. I don't want 100% disagree that it might have made a top at 181. It's just that beneath, look, if it breaks the trend and gets beneath 179, I'm with you. I probably start thinking about flipping into the shorts. But it's showing you support down here. Like I just got in again at the quarters. Well, I'll probably be able to scalp this. I shouldn't jinx myself there. I should try and get some actual scalp trades out in front of 179.5 and 179.80, and then we'll see if we can rinse and repeat it. Oh goodness, I've done that again. I hate when I do that. You forget a zero, and it's like, yeah, you can actually throw that out there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 179.50, 179.80, but if it breaks support, that's what I care about. If it holds support, it's still a long. The market is catching a bid at a key level, and by the market, I mean the NASDAQ, the ES as well. But if it breaks support, fine, I'll get out of it. I have no issue saying it gets beneath such and such a price, trend is broken, I should take it out. But as long as we're holding, you're holding VWAP A, B, you're holding 179. And if you look at what happened at 11 o'clock and we got out, look where it broke out here on volume, right at 179. So we got ourselves a key price. We're going to go long in front of it. Momo again, thank you so much. You are primo, Momo. Thank you for the super chat. Always fun when we get them from you guys. We love the engagement. If there's symbols that we're not talking about, just let us know and we'll try to cover them. We're going to talk about what we're trading, but we don't mind looking at other things as well, especially when these are sometimes managing themselves when the levels are obvious.
We're actually going to have. Guess who's back? Yeah, so we're gonna have another guest that was on last week. So oh, there we go, spoiled it right there.
It's a big spoiler.
Is gonna be coming back very, very soon. I'm not sure. Brendan's organizing something, so we're gonna figure out what she wants to talk about. But Miss Daniel Che from Simpler Trading is gonna be back here very, very soon and talking more about maybe the Kansas City Chiefs.
I got somewhat of red on.
You know. So that was a good one, man. That was a great game. It's funny because. Thing is, I almost wish the first half was like the second half because the first half was just, there was no possession. It was like a lot of Philly possession, and then Kansas City got that fumble.
They owned the game.
Jalen Hurts, yeah. And then that kind of turned it around, and then Patrick Mahomes just put on his Superman and took that game over. And we talked about it in our pool. It's like, there's QB1s, and then that's it.
It's just he's the guy.
It's like it just ends right there. It's like
you got to be able to say it.
You gotta take that guy for what he's worth. And yeah, that was an amazing job there. No wonder why he makes $500 million.
Like
so
he's worth every penny.
Shout out to that one right there.
I will say this
Who's
much,
this guy, Messi or something?
There's one thing that really impressed me. I know Philly fans are like, man, we had a bad day. One thing that I was super impressed with in the first half. Just the relentless going for it on fourth down, putting pressure on the other team.
Yeah.
Playing to win and playing without fear.
That's their way.
I have so much respect for that way that Sirianni and those guys play. And when Andy Reid, who's like a legendary coach, on 4th and 3 with the best quarterback in the universe and he won't even go for it, it felt...
I mean, that's how Philly plays.
Yeah, that's how Philly plays. Yeah. I just loved it. I mean, obviously, I was going for KC kind of. I didn't really have a dog in the fight, but we had the... kind of a friendly bet there, but wow, I love that go for it attitude and play to win, don't play timid. I respect that a lot, so good on Philly. It was a good game, but tough way to lose at the end there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so yeah, we're getting ready to go for that one. So just in case you guys were wondering about what's going on with Roblox, yes, Roblox right now. Spin it right now. What a good. And again, thank you so much for all the kind words in the chat, man. I mean, this short that we just put on right now, let's go. We printing now, baby. So nice little downside move right here. Maybe I'll make back what I lost on the Philly bet yesterday. But I actually did well on my betting because I had all the props. Like I had A.J. Brown touchdown, A.J. Brown over, Devontae Smith over, Jalen Hurts touchdown. Kelsey was a touchdown bonus there as well on FanDuel. So we definitely hit out pretty good yesterday. So all's well in that one. But there's Roblox, yes sir. So again, we talked about it going through the day trading is what I do, as you guys can see. So that's the short there. It just broke that level. We let it break. And look what happens when it breaks that 66 level. Absolutely down there, down another 10 pennies. So again, we have about 1% in the money now at Roblox. We started this trade when it was up here at near 35 bucks, and we were up 0.1. You guys remember? Now it's 0.73. So add that back, 0.8% right there. Nice move downside here for Roblox. As dollar strength continues, man, there's dollar strength continuing right now on the DXY. So yeah, we're going to continue to watch it and watch our position. And on that note as well, There's Google off the short. Look at this. Short, 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 short. Boom. All these greens are covers, man. So it's a nice move back in again right now. I wonder if Luke is still sleeping or what, whatever with Daniel
Why is he
Shea.
sleeping?
I don't know why. I have baby brain all the time now.
Obviously.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But hopefully to the downside goes Google right now, taking down 94.10. I'm holding this the rest of the day. I don't have a big piece on. It's only 10% left. Unfortunately, we have 10 outs, but we've really done well holding this. And we can always hold Roblox, right? So this is the name that I like going into the close here. I've only got a half hour left, but it's Roblox right now to the downside as the Bears appear to be back in here.
Not those
Danielle
Bears.
can talk about CPI tomorrow.
That's exactly what I want to hear her opinions on, is how she would be positioning going into CPI. Just a couple of things here to update. One good, that 93 bounce off Meta, and again, I'm having a lot of these dark pool wicks are just making the charts look a little ridiculous, but it bounces off VWAP here. It's back to 193.65, so I just grabbed the long and scalped some out. However, you know, once Meta, this is me. I said if it cracked VWAP, we get out. We did get a scalp trade into 179.50, but then I'm out of Meta. I was able to reload Micron on that weakness. Like, it started rolling over, so we got that next short. And again, I'll be waiting for VWAP to get more out as this continues to trend down. However, you teed it up.
Yes, sir.
And now we are ready to go back to one of our favorite guests. Actually, no, probably our favorite guest.
Yep.
Miss Danielle Shea.
So happy to have her back. Thank you so much. Danielle Shea is back with us, VP of Options over at Simpler Trading, for a preview. And I love this, Danielle, because we can talk about what is coming up instead of what has already happened throughout the week, as we have been on Thursday. How are you, by the way? Hope you had a nice weekend.
I had a great weekend. You know, I told you last week that I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So the boys and I had a great time watching the Super Bowl.
And Mr. Luke is doing well?
He is. He's doing great. Maybe I'll bring him back on the show again next week.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about what is to come this week. And the guys kind of teed it up there, and I want to get your thoughts on the overall market here. You've started hedging ahead of what is to come tomorrow. Tell us why.
So I started hedging here because after we got the massive rally throughout January, you know, that was really a big tech rally. A lot of the time what we'll see after the fact is we'll see the NASDAQ pull back. And so with that, combined with the fact that we have the CPI, a lot of the time we get the buy the rumor, sell the news event, and those crazy UFOs. What is that about? So I think there's a lot of craziness going on right now. So I did start swing hedging right now.
I saw that comment today. Kirby, the White House, whoever, said no one has to worry about aliens. Don't worry, it's not aliens. But that typically means it's probably aliens, right? So anyways, we can draw our own conclusions, I think, going that direction. Whatever, I'm getting off topic. Tell us a little bit about why, there's a few individual names here. Tell us a little bit about why you went to the retail group and then a little bit of the defense group as well. So you're looking at Lowe's, Home Depot, Pepsi, and Netflix. Talk about those.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, looking at Netflix, we talked about this one on your show last week. And when you're looking at this chart here, I mean, first of all, it's up, 3.3% on the day, right? But the main reason why I like this chart in particular is because it's consolidating and it's getting ready to break out. So if you look at the consolidation right around the 350 price point, you can see that it did break that zone, but it's also bouncing there. And I think that this stock in particular, it's kind of been a little bit of a honey badger. It's been trading differently than most of tech. So I like it for that reason. And I think that it could continue higher even if the rest of the tech pulls back. Now, as far as the other ones are concerned, you've got Pepsi. Pepsi already reported earnings. A lot of the times I like to look for companies that have strong reports on earnings and that pull back into a really nice zone. So Pepsi pulled back into 165. It's bouncing there after a positive report. And again, if we have a tech pullback, then we might see some movement higher in consumer staples. Then I like Lowe's and Home Depot and Costco also because these stocks are coming up on earnings in the next couple weeks and they're all really strong companies. So I like looking for directional moves going higher into those earnings reports.
Comes to the actual, if we're talking about the actual market here, if we get a print that's even, I don't know, in line with what everyone's expecting tomorrow for this inflation number, where can the overall market go if you're looking at the Qs, say?
So if I pull up my chart on the Qs, I'll show you the exact levels that I'm looking for. I had some support at 300, and we did actually break through that zone. We got down to about 297, which is why I started targeting my next zone, which is down here at 290. You might look at my charts and say, man, there's so many lines there. How does she read that? It's because there are all kinds of support zones in the Qs on the way down. You know, basically what I do is once the market starts triggering lower and I end up getting short, is I basically just target each level one at a time. So my first target was 300. We broke down to 297. My next target's going to be 290. And then I just trade it on the way down for a swing trade as I'm hedging.
All right, let's look forward a little bit into the remainder of the week of what's to come. Let's just pretend tomorrow goes fine and the market is fine after what is coming. Let's look at earnings, because there's a number of really interesting names coming up this week for earnings. Upstart, Roku, Zillow was today, Roblox, Crocs, Datadog, AMAT, to name a few. There's a few in this group, however, that are on that higher end of short interest and maybe a squeeze potential. Which ones are you looking at?
Yeah, definitely. So when I'm looking at earnings at the beginning of the week, I always have to make a list of short squeeze potential stocks because, you know, you just never know. These companies can announce something completely random, and even the crappiest stocks can end up trading higher. And when that happens and there's high short interest, I mean, those things can just really take off. So Upstart, definitely on the list. It has about 40% high short interest, which is just insane. Zillow has high short interest. So, you know, when you're looking for this kind of trade, you just want to make sure that you're getting, you know, at least 10%, but anything above 20 is massive.
When it comes to maybe one or two, where's the trade here? How can we actually, you know, look at a number and come up with a plan to trade these?
Yeah, of course. So I can go ahead and show you on my chart. Basically, what you have to look for is you have to look for the previous areas of resistance, okay? Because you have to imagine, you know, your short sellers, they have their stops up above the previous areas of resistance. So in Upstart, for example, you know, you're trading down here at 15 and your areas of resistance are going to be coming in here around 25, okay? So what you would need to see for a squeeze on Upstart is you'd really want to see it be pushing up above that 25 price point. Now you might say, well, it's not really very likely, is it? Well, that's why you want to go and you want to look at your options move on earnings. So your options move is $3. You say, well, you know, maybe if it got twice the expected move, then where would that take you? I mean, it would be closer up to this 25 price point. It's one of those things where you want the expected options move to be in line with right where the area of resistance is. This one, it's not perfect, right? You would need to see a pretty big move before earnings as well as after earnings to see a good short squeeze, but that's exactly what I'm looking for.
All right, when it comes to wrapping up earnings season in general, we've had this discussion before, but for anyone who's maybe, you know, seeing you and the way you trade for the first time, what do you look forward to when it comes to outside of earnings? There's a lot of talk and a lot of speculation on the overall market these days with economic data. Is there a trade here going into, you know, the latter half of this month and then into next month that we can maybe look at on a 2-3 week basis, maybe for the market overall versus an individual 1 or 2 day earnings type play that you know, look at week by week?
Oh, definitely. So normally when we get through the major part of earnings, that's when the market tends to pull back. So what I generally try to do is I look to identify these stocks that have just been on fire. And I try to short them on the way back down, because after we get through that earnings season lull, that's generally what happens. The easiest way to do it, I think, is usually in the Qs. So that's why I focus on the daily chart analysis. And I really like to look for these key pullback zones because, you know, when you're looking at the Qs right now, yes, it's had a really strong month, okay? And we know that. But if you look at it on a weekly chart, I mean, you've got a massive head and shoulders right here. I know it's a little bit sloppy based off of, you know, all my fib levels that are right here. But if you can see that other shoulder that's been completed right there, that's all that's happened. That's a bearish pattern on the weekly chart. So unless we can actually break up above, let's see what, 310, the path of least resistance is down. So I'm going to be focusing on those high beta stocks to the downside as long as that swing trade comes through.
In that group, which one's standing out to you at this point? I mean, we've had so much hype, I guess, around this AI everything these days. Is it a Microsoft? Is it a Google? Which one are you looking at?
So I always try to go with the relative weakness name. Microsoft is really one of my favorite longs. Apple's one of my favorite longs. So I don't usually short those names. I usually short the weaker ones in the area. So that would be Google and Meta. Google in particular, if you look at Google right here, it's just barely clinging on to this price support at 95. It's at 94.41 right now. If this thing is going to break below the 50 simple on the daily chart, I mean, it could easily flush down to, definitely January lows, if not October lows. So I think that looking at Google for the downside, on a break of 94 makes sense. Meta, that one, it did have a good gap up on earnings. And so, I hate this stock and this company. So I always hate to say it's doing well. But I would watch for a potential gap fill there. If it breaks, let's see, what would that be? Friday's low. Be Friday's low. So what is that? 173. If it breaks that level and we could see a gap fill, that would be a good trade.
Daniel Shea is not a fan of Instagram, now that we know that. A few people were talking about the highly shorted names we were discussing. So Upstart, Zillow, and Crocs were the main three, I guess, with the higher than usual short interest. Roblox, you had start off as well. Not a fan of Meta, not a fan of Instagram, but tell us why you like Roblox.
So, I just like to keep this one on my watch list because I know the stock is kind of trash, right? I mean, you look at it, it's trading at $34. It used to be $141 a share. I'm not in any way suggesting it's going to be back up at 141. But, I have a 9-year-old and he's obsessed with Roblox and this stuff. I mean, it's very addictive for children. And the way that they have created video games within that platform, I mean, I do think that it's revolutionary and I do think that the company is going to continue to grow. So for that reason, I always like to keep an eye on it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I do think it's, the way of the future as far as video games are concerned.
Amazing. I love the fact that we can talk about what is to come and some opportunities for the remainder of the week. It's going to be a crazy day tomorrow, no doubt, regardless, I think, of which direction this number comes. A ton of earnings, as we discussed, still to come this week. Daniel Shea is VP of Options at Simpler Trading. We appreciate you making time for us on a Monday.
Yes, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Ciao. All right, so it likes Roblox, but the stock is trash, but likes the
Pulling
potential.
no punches.
No, I think that when you're talking about trash names, I think that we always have to look at not the name themselves, but just like what's been happening to it. Yeah. And coming down from 140 down to 30 does make a lot of sense. It's just funny now because I am short Roblox. And again, we're just talking about a day trade here, just like she's talking about a possible bump. And you can't have kids and not understand how huge Roblox is. It's crazy. Like, my 11-year-old will talk to his friends on Discord while playing Roblox. So it's just one of those things where, we used to sit around and watch TV. Kids nowadays sitting around and communicating over whatever this metaverse Robloxian type thing is. So I like Roblox.
That's how they reach each other. It's true.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, we used to do the same thing for us as well. And so right now, Roblox is pretty popular. I like them, but we're short here as a day trade. I only have 20% left as I can get out of here in 15 minutes. But we just went down to 350 again, right? 35.50 right there again, and was able to take some fills. So we got one at 58, one at 60, and here it is. Nice push down again. Let's see if Roblox fails here into the close. Google's sort of hanging out okay, but this is the one short that we have on board right now. Roblox back down in right now.
So I just put a trailing stop in on Tesla. So we got to 195 again off that 93. I'm just trailing it here at 194.5. Just thinking, the market trying to get to the highs and it's kind of stalling out here. So you get a long that's working. We'll just take it out, grab the $1.50, somewhere in that range for sure. And if it gets higher, then we're definitely going to be all over it. I do want to go back over to, I don't think Alphabet's necessarily done. It's just I don't think we see 95. What I should say is I don't think the short's done. But I don't think we see this 95 level again. So I'm going to look for another way to. I got to zoom in and get past this. So another way to look at this trade would be if we start grinding lower, like hold VWAP here, and then just start trending into the downside. Like what you would imagine is if you were to just draw a trend line in here, which is going to look a little something like that. If you just draw a trend line, it's as long as you maintain this trend line, might just start rinsing and repeating alphabet sort of along those lines. It's hard to see with that scaling there, but that's kind of the notion. Beneath VWAP, I'll just look to short some pops. With only 40 minutes left to go, we are running out of time. I did grab some reloads in Micron. As it goes down to VWAP here, we're going to continue to take them out. So I have my bids almost all the way down to VWAP on Micron. Not all the way, but pretty close to it. I just want to make sure I'm there in case it comes further to the downside. And Abhishek just said Intel triple top formation. Well, yeah, it looks actually pretty good. But I'm already short Micron. And Micron's a little bit weaker. So I really don't mind just taking Micron and going with that because it's essentially the same short, except Micron's flat on the day and Intel's up 2.5% to the upside. But I just got that trail out on Tesla, so we'll go ahead and power up for that one. You're just talking about Roblox, it made me think video games, and one that I played when I was younger. Can't tell, I'm older, so I played Mario. 195, we got 194.5. 195 looks like resistance here on Tesla, but nice scalp trade off 193. We'll take it again if it gets down to 193. As long as the NASDAQ is holding 12.5, I like the longs on Tesla in front of 193. So we'll rinse and repeat that if we get the opportunity to. And Stuart Porter, yeah, I'm old enough to play Pac-Man. Actually, the barber I used to go to, like, when I was really little, my dad used to take us to this West Indian barber, and he had one video game, and he had the old Pac-Man there. So I would play that like every Saturday for like 2 hours. I was pretty good at that game, but I mean, Pac-Man, that's definitely dating myself at this point.
Here I'm showing someone said, you know, here's my Roblox. So I've already got it locked and loaded here, waiting to see when my kids get home, and I'll be able to see, oh, they're playing this game, that game. So many games on Roblox. I saw Nicole Harris say that adults even play some games on there. I don't know. I just do whatever kids. I think they do, to be honest with you. I just think like whatever my kids play is what I'm playing on there. So yeah, but that's what that is. Yeah, some people talking about that there in the chat. Okay, what else you guys want me to look at here before we get out? Yeah, brought to you by Roblox exactly right now. So what I want to say was someone in the chat here. Oh, I lost where you were there. You were talking about the same thing that I always talk about, and that is that he said that he spent hundreds of dollars on Roblox for his kids, but the amount of money that he makes trading it makes up for that. Exactly. I used to have that exact mentality, and I always say the story about Starbucks and things like that. And it's like whenever I see my wife spending all that money on lattes, or now my kids apparently as well, always waiting out for more profit from Starbucks to come through because of that reason. Own Starbucks stock and make money back in that as well. Okay, so there's Google not doing much. PayPal was a short that I lost on actually right here. PayPal in and out short. We took a little long one on that one, but look what happened. We got stopped out here at 80.50. We tried to go short PayPal here at 80.50, or 80.30 and got stopped out. We should have given it up to 50. The high of the day here on PayPal is 60. The reason why we started the short was because it was red on the day. We almost had it. We almost had it exactly, but we didn't. We missed it. So right there, 80.60 as the top for Roblox rate, or sorry, for PayPal. Now coming back in. So that was a name that we actually wind up losing on today. PayPal trying the short right there. We should have given it to 60. Noticing that was the high. I don't know why we only gave it to 40 there, but 35 we got out on actually. Here's the short, 25 and 30, out 35. I don't know what we were thinking there, why we got out so fast, but it did come back in there, PayPal. So let's have a look if that gets back up to 80.50. I like that trade there, but it has to get back there first.
Yeah, and like one of the reasons why I was sort of saying I don't, like as much as Intel had that setup, and I trade Intel a lot, one of the reasons I don't want to jump into it is I'm already shorting off the highs here in Micron. And if Micron busts out, there's no need to add it. Like if Micron busts the top here, Intel's probably breaking the top as well, no? Like that's my logic. Like Intel's stronger name. If one's breaking the top, the other is. If anything, the market goes higher, Intel might just be a long because it's a stronger name out there. Or like in NVIDIA, that can definitely be one. That 220 level, it feels like that's resistance. You know, I was over/under on that one. Over/under just means like I was kind of shorting it as resistance levels, and when it broke out, taking the longs, it's hard to see because of the silly wick here, but NVIDIA did get past that 220 and give you some scalp trades above that level, but it just didn't really follow through. That feels like it can also be resistance, so I want to put these into buckets and try and respect it. Tesla got through 195, so that's looking like it's going to be pretty strong here. However, you know, it's kind of a Bed Bath & Beyond dumped it. I don't know if
Oh, did it?
It did. It's back down at like 197. So as usual, if you're patient enough, eventually it does fall. And I'm glad that Uber got mentioned, because the second Uber beneath 34, that last bounce up in the market, you see some names getting back to the high. Uber is just chilling out at the low end of the range. You might not even get 34. I might just look for the shorts in here. This week, I mean, the stock this week here, I'll short basically any pop. I don't want to take out the bottom here. Well, I want it to take out the bottom if I'm short, but I don't want to hit the bottom and punch in at the low of the day. But I will short some pops here if I get that chance in Uber. Going to try and have to get back into this Tesla train. We got the scalp trade. It was a decent one, but it's still looking like it's one of the stronger ones of the bunch. I know it's down 1%, but if you look at how it's traded throughout the day, flush at the open, it's just been a long ever since. It found a low, it's been a higher low supporting 193 every time. I'll get right back on that bid and rinse and repeat.
All right. Just looking around here. I did want to talk about that Tesla because, and I know Neil's on it as well, but it's like, you guys are saying like if we break 195, you know, see you later, but we've kind of broke that.
We did already.
Like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, now 4 times, and every time it faded back out. So it's 323 now. You do have the imbalances coming out in 20 minutes, 25 minutes at 350. So, you know, I feel like Tesla's probably topped out a little. I don't want to say it's topped out for the day, but like this 195, you're going to have to really break it. So I wouldn't get too excited about 195. I would actually wait for just a high break of the day, which is where we actually got some out earlier today, 196. So I would look at that. We tried this, we only tried it once, and what am I talking about, right? Like, we should have bought Tesla down here. Instead we got a lot of longs down here, man. We had AMD, this is when Google was testing 94 for the first time, and we definitely missed out on Tesla down here, but we're gonna have to remember that for tomorrow, 188, 189, because despite it being weak today, it is actually holding out right now. So, you know, it should have pulled back a lot. You're down 1.3, 1.1% into a market that's up 1.4% right now. So I feel like Tesla down here at 189. Remember, we are now basically 40 minutes away, right, from CPI. Like I know it comes tomorrow at 8:30, but like you're only going to get another 40 minutes of good liquidity today. Then you have the aftermarket, which we know is going to be whatever for liquidity, and then you come into tomorrow's levels, right? So if it's a good CPI read, you know, Tesla probably takes out 200 and then just rips from there. So I think there's a lot of risk in Tesla, especially holding overnight. But if you take out 196, I think that's a decent long to come back in. As we go, we're only 20 cents now in the money on Google. Probably just going to take it out as it's really refreshed itself back upside. So you could see a nice downside move right now for Google. We've taken advantage of it, and we have that 10% left and breaking higher. So we'll get out of some Google and just move on to that. And then Roblox the same way. Just hasn't been able to break 60, but again, that short's been pretty good for us. We're trying to get out if it breaks 75 back to the upside. So that's basically it, man. I don't have too much else to talk about today. The market is flat right now. I mean, here's a broader look at it. You know, sure, you made a move to 12.5. Yeah, I tried to break 12.5. It went to 85. Now you're back up 20 handles the other way. So it's up, but I wouldn't expect too many dramatic moves here heading into the close.
Yeah, although Wish is trying to make a somewhat dramatic move, as I look at this here, I want to look at the bigger picture because you see it like trying to get off this 90 level. And I said, watch out for that dollar because I like the dollar, the higher low. This is, it's only 9 or 10 cents away, but that's 10% that it needs to fly up here to go to that higher low. So I know it's moving, but I don't know if it's going to get out there. That's what we care about. And Sam Schalson, when are you going to wrap for us? On Fridays if we get 2,000 likes. That's kind of like the litmus test, right? Like we set it out there. We used to be 1,500 likes, and then I do a wrap on Friday. We didn't get there last week, so yeah, tune in on Friday. If we get All we got to do is get 2,000 likes on the afternoon show, and then we're good to go. We're locked and loaded. I had something ready on Friday, but we didn't get there, so we're men of our word, and we try to keep to that always, right? And it better be De La Soul. Oh, really?
It better be. That sounds like a threat.
Like Dr. Crusher in there better be De La Soul. I'm like, that's a little aggressive in there, Dr. Crusher.
Very.
However, I do like De La Soul. Maybe I will have to think about something there. I was looking for a reload if the trend held on Google, so I need to see it actually fail VWAP here to confirm that trend. Otherwise, I'm not going to jump back into it, and I will go back over it. Like Tesla's the one after that 93. If it does come back down again, I'm going to go for the reload for sure on Tesla. I just don't want to chase it. And then Uber, just to go back over to some of the names here, Uber, the shorts off those lows. I mean, I know you guys, rest in peace, Dave from De La Soul, and in fairness, I think I did do Coolio when he passed, in fairness. But anyways, we'll think of something. Usually I have something prepared. I had one ready for Friday, and then I kind of want to go back over to that one to get it out of the way because I've been wanting to do it for a while. Somebody was mentioning, oh goodness, what stock was it again? It wasn't Bed Bath & Beyond. Was it Microsoft? No, it wasn't Microsoft. It was Apple. It was Apple. We haven't talked a lot of Apple today, which... Look how strong this is on that VWAP bounce. I know Tesla did it as well. It doesn't have any wicks. That's kind of cool too. But a big strong bounce off 153 on Apple, and it's just all green candles on my 3-minute. This could be one for some strength here going into the close if we're going to rally. Ooh, Micron might stop me out. But if Apple's got this interesting top, like 154.25, I'd look for longs into that. If you're going to go long, I wouldn't want it breaking out the high because the market doesn't feel like it wants to extend. And remember, as Sean mentioned, you've got CPI tomorrow morning. I don't know if you're going to be breaking highs in that context. So it's got to be finding support, but that level up there, tops 154 3/4 or 154.25. That also goes back to Thursday being a high as well. So watch out for that. If you got the long on 53s, it's the same way I didn't think Tesla would run past 195. I'd be cautious with that one. Apple not taking any profit, but I'm now reloading on my Google. It looks like it has at least attempted to give up VWAP, which is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see it get to VWAP, start rolling over before adding to that position. It might be the last short we have if Micron stops out, would be adding to this one here just beneath VWAP.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everyone for watching. I'm going to be out of here in a couple of minutes, and then Fahad will be sitting here, the best trader on the floor, Fahad. So he's going to be sitting here very, very soon, and you'll be blessed to have him on the show. And yeah, he is pretty much the best. I don't think you were here that one time. He's like, give me an account, make $500 right now. That was like the best. I feel like that we need to
I love that.
get an audio piece for that on that quote. But all right, just quickly here, we are now out because I got to leave. So we're out now, 65s on Roblox. So that was a big win for us. That was good. And then our last trade finally to end it all was getting out of Google. I just pushed bid and got out at 44 there from Google, and it was just a short at 77, out at 44. Our best outs were down here at 94.12. So all right. Be well, everybody. I'm going to see everybody tomorrow. We're live at 8:25, so don't forget about that tomorrow. I'm going to go take my daughter to baseball and hockey practice. So Fahad's going to be in the seat when you guys get back from small cap recap. Brendan, kill him with kindness.
Hey guys, yeah, we'll do a little recap here of what has been moving around as far as small cap world is concerned, as Fahad is going to take over for Sean for the rest of the day. A treat on the way for you. We were talking about these little Chinese names this morning, low float Chinese names. This one, VLON, is one of them. And then the other was this MTEC, MMTC, which is MTC. This one ends up being a pretty good fade all day long, back below $1. Right out of the gate this morning, and then all the way down to 75 cents. VLON, however, back above $1 right now, in fact, with decent volume coming back in, trying to get back to day highs. A few other interesting movers today was this clean, CLNN, up on a positive phase 2 study for MS, but that ends up being a pretty good fade as well. We open at 190, hit $2, and then it's just straight downside, 50 cents, all the way back to essentially where it was on Friday. Hills was one that was moving around in the pre-market as well. Positive cancer technology licensing deal. If you remember, this one gapped up also on Friday. It's done absolutely nothing today, though, just sideways action between 180 and $2 all day long. So HILS, a little bit of a non-event as far as trading opportunities are concerned. This OCUL was the other one. I don't have the chart ready, but this is the headline. Positive data on early stage eye disease treatment that came through for them. So ton of action so far today. VLON, worth a note for tomorrow, still up 120.5% going into the final 30 minutes of the day. If you haven't done so yet, guys, make sure you do take a second, hit the like, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get back to it.
Yes, sir, let's get back to it. And Tesla's getting right back to it, like right back to the upside. Forget about this 193 that I'm literally canceling right now. We had talked about that 195 breaking in the context of it's been above 195 already. If you look at the open, 195 was clear resistance right here, and it just dropped. But it's gotten to 196 and change. So there's still room to launch off from here at 195 even. So if we can't get 93s, maybe it is just going to be the higher consolidation. 194.5 would be this level here. So when it curled out, that's where I trailed out, and that's been the low ever since. You know, if we're joining a trend and like this one is along into the rest of this afternoon, I don't really see anything else that stands out better than Tesla in big cap land. Like, you can talk about all you want, like context logic making some moves, but you know, if the market takes out the highs, give me something that's actually moving along with the market. Microsoft, Apple are both examples. You know what, that Microsoft chart is absolutely garbage because of those wicks. But Apple looks pretty strong here. I think you can respect that high on Apple, but ultimately this is about as strong. Tesla's strong as well, but this is about as strong as it gets here. We got about 15 minutes to go. We're going to get the imbalances. It is like the early look is half a billion to sell. So we're looking at a sell imbalance as the market's ripping up here. So I do want to try to stick it out with the Google short and just see if that one works. Adding to something like, you know, rolling over an Apple, maybe I talk about like a 154 here. As my man is setting up.
I'm good.
And getting ready. You're locked and loaded, ready to go. You got the chat up there.
Yep, I see everything.
If you want to bring up charts, I think you should have e-signal up there if you want to go, Fahad.
Yeah.
So what's good, brother?
How are you, man?
Chilling.
It's our first time together on.
It is the first time.
Usually with Sean, but me and Neil have a lot in common. People don't realize.
We actually do. That's actually very true.
We both like sports. Very into basketball.
That's true.
Both think LeBron's the GOAT.
Nope.
And we both run a 4.4. Both of us. That includes me and you.
Okay, so I mean, look, we both like basketball. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and only one of us in our lifetime has ever run as fast as a 4.4.
That's just not true.
Look, I think it's pretty obvious who that is. And I'm not saying that to be like, well, it's obvious, but it's obvious who that is. I mean,
Have you seen my legs? Brother, man, I can run.
I'm not even responding to that
I
one.
can run,
What is
Neil.
even going? No, I have not, because quite frankly, that's just a little bit weird, Fahad, but that's cool. What I love about Fahad is the unabashed confidence, because you guys all know what's good. Fahad and I have like a standing agreement that at some point when the weather gets a little bit better, he is going to race me.
Yes, we are.
And
We are going
you guys,
crazy.
and then you guys can judge for yourself. Feel free if people want to create a money line between Fahad and I racing. And I told him the thing is, I will pick any distance. Any distance.
I already gave you my what it has to be.
I literally don't care.
No.
From 50 meters to 10 kilometers, I'll probably.
Can I
beat
say
you.
what the conditions are?
Okay, you.
So look,
just-
a man like me is injured all the time because I put a lot of stress on my body because I'm a hard-working individual. You know what I mean? And that's everything in life. So my body goes through a lot, upper body, legs, it doesn't matter, my arms, shoulders, everything. So I told him there's conditions, okay? I've already admitted that I cannot run like explosive. I'm not explosive off the first step.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You know what I mean? You should
Okay.
be.
No,
'Cause
I-
I can do everything else, but I'm not explosive. So I said, the only way the match will be close, or if I can beat you,
It won't be.
is if there's a jogging start, and then when we reach a certain point, then we start sprinting. I guarantee you I can either keep up or beat you. And I said there has to be someone at the finish line, which is 100 meters. We said 100 yards, right? 100 yards.
I don't care.
And there has to be someone at the 50-yard line because I'm predicting I'm going to get injured. But at least if we have someone at the 50-yard, they can confirm that I was winning halfway through before I got injured.
There will be at no point at which
I'm
you are
just thinking ahead, and this is what is going to happen.
So if you guys are wondering why I'm a little bit confident about this, it's because I ran track in high school, I ran track in university, and in track and field, that running start you talk about,
Right.
that's called like a relay start. You
Right.
actually practice that.
Yes.
So not only you get your butt kicked, like
No.
it's going to be really easy. But I don't even know what to say. I love the confidence, man, but it's like you have no idea what you're getting
Listen,
yourself
you told
into.
me yourself.
There's track fast and there's fast.
You told me yourself that
I'm gonna beat
the
you.
technique in running is how much power you can pull on the floor. Yes.
On the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah.
It's how
It's
much power
impacting
you
the
can
ground.
put.
How much power?
I'm
you can put on the
230
ground.
pounds, and trust me, I can shake the ground.
That's not
My
exactly.
brother.
That's not exactly
No,
what I
no,
was
no,
getting at.
no,
with
no,
that.
no. I
You're not trying
promise
to
you,
earthquake
I
on the
can,
ground.
but I can is the point.
This is
So
always.
the shockwaves might knock you off your feet. First of all,
Honestly,
That's what I'm even
Racer
talking about.
X9, 6-1 on me. Trust me, that line doesn't even do it justice.
6-1. Are you
It doesn't even
nuts?
do it
What?
justice. So you remember when the Chargers were up and that guy bet like $1 million to win like $5? That's the type of line you want to put on this. The only way Fahad's beating me in a sprint is if I actually get struck by lightning or just, I don't know, like something. You guys, like there's an act of God. that
Listen,
could
I don't
possibly
gamble.
happen
I
in
don't
that
gamble.
situation. And you should. This would be like saying, okay, a stock is 99% short interest,
Right.
and it just made a break out of the high of the day.
Right.
So I'm gonna short the first down move because
right.
I'm just standing in front of a moving freight train. That's what you're trying to do here. It doesn't make actually any sense. You could trip me. You could try to
No, you don't know me,
poison
man.
me or something. I don't know. Whatever, man. It's not
We're
gonna-
gonna. I mean, the day we do it and then I make it a tie, you're gonna be so shocked and you say, "Wow, this guy is very talented." And
Do
you're
you
gonna
see
be
what's going on in the
very
chat right now? See,
surprised.
this is what I love about the community here. By the
go-
way, if we get back below view up here, Google's the only thing I'm looking at for a short, and I want that Tesla long 194.50, but I'm not willing to chase either one of those two things. But like, they don't even care, man. Like, look, bullish, Neil, over underactive God.
It's
Bet
'cause-
my portfolio.
It's because they know you, so they have to support you.
Okay, no,
If
they
any
know
of these
you
people,
too, Fahad,
no,
and that's why.
they know me
and that's why.
briefly, very briefly. I get 10 minutes on air, and that's how they know me, which I don't blame them.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
But if you know me in real
gonna
life,
happen for
how
you.
can you bet against me? It's very, very hard.
It's very simple.
no, it's
It's very
not.
simple. You look at what is the higher probability. So when you were trading, right? It's not that I think Google 100% is going to go down from here.
Right.
It's that based on its relative weakness, the market at resistance, and the level it's at, I just think there's a better chance it goes down than up. Like, I'm not willing to predict it. So how do you bet against you is that most people will say, oh, I think it's a better likelihood that Fahad loses a race to Neil, who actually ran track and field his entire
Right.
life, versus somebody who, I mean, quite frankly, you're a good basketball
So
player.
I'm
but
going to use
we
your
know
own
you're not
analogy
a runner.
against
You're not a
you.
runner.
I'm going to
You're
use
not
your
a runner.
own analogy against you.
You're not a runner.
I remember
Let's just
telling
stop.
you, if I played Arun in basketball, I would cook him 21-0.
I'm not saying you can't beat Arun in basketball.
No.
You can
And
beat Arun in basketball.
You said, listen, Arun is a big guy. He's athletic. He's strong. He's not going to just let you score 21 points.
That's not
on
what
him.
I said.
It is.
No, it's not.
You backed him. You said he's not going to make it easy. Use that same, and I asked you, why do you say that? Because I know Arun. He used to be a football athlete, yada, yada, yada. He's very mobile, and he doesn't like to lose. Use that same thought process with me and running.
No. See,
Just because you've done it,
I'm clarifying
doesn't-
it because here's the thing. We got to be. I'm always precise with what I say. So when we had that conversation,
Yeah.
what I simply said was, you made a comment about pushing Arun around on the court.
As I will
I
do.
didn't say Arun would make it easy or he'd win the basketball game. I simply said you cannot push around Arun because A, he's super big and strong,
Right.
and B, he knows what to. Like, the guy's trained boxing. He's
Right,
trained Krav Maga. Like, the guy knows and understands how to, like,
But he's not good at
balance
basketball.
and positioning. No, but I'm just saying you can't push him around. You can beat him in basketball. You can't push him around. You
Yeah.
got to be reasonable with your bets. So who you got, chat? Old man
fraud.
Neil.
We're
Why you
using
got to
this-
call me
we're
old
s-
man Neil, yo?
Brother, we're still doing this for fraud thing? Is this still a thing?
Look at that, 80-20.
How am I ate the
I
chip.
want to know the 21% of people that are actually thinking that Fahad would take me. in
How
the
many?
race.
How many? How do you see it?
20% right now.
I need every single one of your names. I'm gonna give you a gift when I win this race. Everyone message me somehow.
You guys
I don't know
are
how,
making
just find a way.
I'm just simply saying you guys are making a tactical error. I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't actually, I'll just be honest, like, don't actually put any money on this guy in a race.
What? You can't just say that.
No, I am being dead honest.
I'm a
man.
generational talent.
No, I don't want anybody losing money on something like this. I would genuinely feel bad because I'm not going to let him win. Like, I'm going to.
Is a tie a win for
I'm
me?
going
Is a
to
tie
destroy him.
a loss for you?
There's no tie in track.
No. If we are very close to the finish line together, does that count as a win for me? It doesn't have to be a loss for you, but is it a win for me? You're saying I'm slow. I'm telling you I'm not.
No, I'm saying you're going to lose. I don't care.
Okay,
You're
so a
going
tie
to-
wins.
Can we look? You're going to lose.
A tie wins.
Okay? You're going to lose. You're going to lose.
That's
It's
not-
as
I don't-
simple as that.
Bro, I'm literally trying to imagine me losing and I can't.
I
It's
know. And
physically
that's,
impossible. I'm trying to imagine you in front of me crossing a line, and it's not coming up.
You
to
want
my
to see
head.
how easily I can always turn things back into trading? Somebody who can't imagine themselves losing in a trade is basically you're doomed because there's always a loss to be had, right? And if you're not prepared to lose, then you're not going to take the proper action when you're sort of faced with it. So what's happening here is Fahad can't see himself losing, so he's willing to make a challenge that he can't possibly win, which is this. I'm just simply saying
there's
that's
always
exactly
possibilities.
it. It doesn't, like, trust me, it's just not going to happen. I know some dudes that'll beat me in a race, but I know them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know who can beat me.
Yeah, man.
And there's no one in this building. It is what it is, man. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. But I want to get back to the market for a second because there's a couple of things I want to get to. One of them is Google's found some strength today, so I don't want my last trade in Google to be a complete disaster. And we got 7 minutes till the imbalances. This is where I want to give it to. Like, if it doesn't hold 94.65, I'll just take the 20 penny hit on my last entry in Alphabet and then just understand that it was too strong. And then I'm kind of mad that I didn't hold on to Tesla, which is now holding 195. I'm not chasing any of these to the upside. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to give it up there. I like this one. Neil bluffing hard. You have no idea.
Who said that?
You have no
You're
idea.
a smart individual.
You have no idea. I'm just simply
I like
saying,
that person a
You
lot.
have no idea. I'm not going to run backwards because he can probably handle me running backwards. I won't do that. There's a buddy in high school that I challenged that to because he was that slow.
Backwards
I'm
is a tough
quick
one.
backwards, but I'm sure you could take me if I ran backwards.
I have good lateral. My lateral is probably my best.
Brendo?
Just quickly, guys, there was a note on LinkedIn for Microsoft. More layoffs coming apparently for LinkedIn. No reaction here, but worth a note for Softy.
Yeah, well, Microsoft is pulling back in here a little bit. It's probably more the market than anything else. But even Google doesn't want to seem to pull back here. But Microsoft getting a little bit of a dent. This was a strong name today, which is kind of frustrating. But we'll see. Maybe it does hold that 270. Too late to put a trade on. Daryl Flinch in the chat. I did the 400 and the 400 hurdles in college. You could easily beat him. I was a 110. I ran the hurdles in high school, but then once I got to university, I was just a plain sprints. My brother was a 400 and a 4 hurdles guy. That's a tough ass event,
really,
man.
yeah,
The 400 meter hurdles, mad respect. That and the 800 to me are like the two. That you do those and you're just gonna feel that pain every single time. And Neil, can you dunk? Not since I was when I was young I could. Like in high school I was dunking. Because I was a long jumper too. Like my other event was a long jump, so I have hops, but I'm over 40 years old, so I'm not dunking anymore. I'm 5'10". Like what do you want? 40-year-olds that are 5'10" don't dunk. Well, I mean, I guess there's some out there that do, but not me. I'm old, so. But I can still beat this guy in a race. Like, that's not a problem. But I'm not dunking on anybody. I'm just saying.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Neil.
Yo, watch your mouth, Brad.
I cannot wait.
See, Brad just said, yo, you're definitely not dunking, not with the back you have right now. See, the problem is I actually do have a bad back, Brad, so thank you for bringing that one. No, but running is not an issue. He's talking about my back issues. Like, I can't twist, so I have issues. I can't play baseball anymore. I can't golf because I have like a spinal issue. It sucks, but I can do pretty much everything else. It's not that big of a deal. Google's starting to roll over, so I'm just going to try and get some out here on the bed because we're getting to that time of day where I got the name that I like for a flush. I'm not going to get Tesla again on the long side because it's not hitting 193s. And we got 4 minutes to imbalances. I just want to make sure that I'm locked and loaded for you guys for the imbalances. Usually if I miss it, then Sean will get it, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing it. And there was a question about Airbnb that I wanted to get to. As we do get them, and look at the strength of Airbnb. It is a monster today. So I was a little bit surprised, not necessarily that it caught a bid off 108, but I'm surprised at how strong it was. We were talking about it this morning. It's like, okay, wipe out the last couple of days, hold the higher low. Like I can see it breaking out, which it did, great. I'm just surprised it actually came this far. A bit of a surprise there on Airbnb. You can see this stock gets to 120. It's been abjectly rejecting it every single time. So I do think that that's going to be a monster level if it can crack through it. But wow, great day for Airbnb. We'll definitely have to respect that one. I might take some more. You know what? I already took out half of Alphabet down there at 94.50. My stop is just above here. If it flushes, fine. I'm not going to take anything else out. I have my stop in at 94.65. If it wants to go through there, I'll be out. But just going to look for the market to come down. It's still an indication of a sell imbalance, so I have that going in my favor at this particular point. and I think we'll be good with that one. Just don't really see any other longs out there. If you guys see any stocks that you're interested in, let me know. I know GNS was making some moves, but it just did another turn. I was interested in this if it could have held above $7, and then it broke down, and now it's just breaking down again. Ooh, that looks kind of ugly. Fahad, my man.
Yes, sir.
Outside of making ridiculous challenges.
Yeah.
In a serious note, because we've talked about you, when are you actually going to do a trading
Trading
account?
thing? So I have a what do you call it? Simulation? Is that what it's called?
Simulation account.
I
Yeah,
do
we
a
have your
simulation
account set up.
Yes. And we just got to find time. Obviously, we're working on making the show much better.
Like
right now.
today with the green screen was
Yeah,
fantastic.
we're trying to incorporate a lot of things. I'm working on the little clips that you guys say, like and subscribe, and just working on that. Yours is actually pretty funny. I like yours a lot, so hopefully I'll have that ready by tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. This is going to halt down, by the way. No, never mind. GNS is making a huge move down. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. But I've been reading levels. You guys know I like Veru. Now, I don't know what's going on in this chart.
Oh, wow. Can you go to this chart for a second?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on to Veru, dude?
Okay. Oh, no, what did I do? How did I zoom out? Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. You see this pile of crap right here?
I see
This
it.
right there? I traded that.
I remember this.
I was
we would
trading
talk
this
about this
whole
almost
thing.
every day.
Yeah, the whole thing I was trading, and I made a lot of money off this. Believe it or not. I don't know what this average is. This with the blue, I don't know if it's a 200 period moving average.
If that's Sean's chart, then
Yeah.
it'll be one's a 50 and one's a 200, but I'm not sure which is.
Okay, whatever it is.
That's probably the 50, the blue, and then the 200 would be the
Yeah,
red.
you can clearly see. I mean, it's not that it's touching the line, but it stayed above it the whole time. He told me about this moving average stuff. For me, it works. I kept grabbing the shorts, sorry, not the shorts. I would grab it every time it dipped to these levels, and if it went any lower, I knew it was never gonna go under this line, and I was waiting for that break. So I would like load up the most like average out of all these lines. I would go right here, somewhere in the middle, and if it kept going down, I would just keep buying, keep buying. And then when it goes back to the top, I'd literally sell for $3-4 profits. But I was swinging it.
But that's
Obviously, I'm not day
those are
trading.
swing
Yeah, I wasn't day
trades, yeah.
trading. Yeah, I was doing this on my phone the whole time while switching.
I remember
So-
because we talk about it we do the trade of the day. I'd be standing there, and before when Brendan's doing his spiel, I'll be like, "Oh, so what's going on with Vera?" And you tell me the trades. But like that's the simple kind of thing you want to do when you're trading. When you start out, it's just find one like style or one setup that you like. That's what I'm setup. And then you swing off that 50-period bounce. Now, you can see when it broke the trend,
It's gone.
maybe it works in the other direction.
So do you use now this red line, which might be the 50 or the 200?
That's
I can't
the
really tell.
200, but
Okay.
if anything, you like go back to the chart for a second. If anything, like it rejected the 50, and now it looks like it's just absolutely, it's just continuing to flush.
Right.
Now it's not even testing the 200-period moving average.
Right.
So you're kind of looking for the next low that it makes, which it's hard to tell, but it looks like what's that, like $2?
Yeah.
$2 where support would be. It's at 4 now.
This right here?
Yeah. So maybe it bounces off 2, and then you can get like a trend continuation.
This is at 330, so it's 70 cents
and bounces
above.
in a couple
Yep, go
seconds
ahead.
here, just very quickly. They're going to come out live in 1 second. Intel, 2.3 million to sell. Yuckity yuck. CRM, 1.4 million. Ford, 1.3. Apple to sell. Why is Google not down here? Just like, where is Alphabet? Microsoft to sell. Meta, Google, they're all sell imbalances. So bank error in my favor. I was going to look at SoFi because someone had asked about SoFi in the chart, but I'll just quickly go over. So all sell imbalances, I'm going to assume that's going to work out well for me, but I do want to take at least some advantage of that initial flush to the downside as Alphabet is going to start to come down. At the end of the day, like if it had broken this range here, I would have to get out. But they've come to the sell side here. The total is $2 billion to sell. We just got that from Brendan. So I was only sitting in the one short. It was $500 million indicated to sell. Now it's $2 billion. I'm going to hold on to Alphabet. If it breaks 65, I'm getting out. If it gets down into the 20s, I want to get some more shares out there. I didn't really load up on this enough, I think, at that 60 level. And if you're watching, I know Sean was looking at Roblox. I want to go back over to that one for all of you guys for a quick second, because that one continues to be weak. Daniel Shea crapped on it. This is going to be down at the low of the day as well. I didn't see it on the imbalance locator, but when the market comes sell imbalance, beat up names will follow it to be sure. And I would talk Palantir, Mike, but Palantir didn't do much, and I feel like I just want to see the print tomorrow. Like it had an inside day, and when I say an inside day, meaning it tried to break, it did break Friday's lows, and then nothing else happened. It recovered it, held this range here. So basically, if you look at the range from the majority of the day on Friday, all it did is essentially give you a scalp trade. If anything, well, that's still Roblox. What am I talking about? Palantir did a similar thing where it did not break the range either. So it's kind of the same thing. Like it never broke the low, it never broke the high, and that's what I mean. Anything it does an inside day like that, unless you are, just scalping shorts in front or scalping longs off the bottom, I just care about show me the report on Palantir. And then I'm looking at the 50 period, that $7 level. I know 9 is significant. If it's a big report and they're strong, 9's a very significant level on that top. You have the 200 period that you can look at as well. But I'm not going to sit here and make a guess on them. Like they've been around for a very long time to not show enough profits, and I think there could be some pressure out there. What did you just put out there? Prad just sent a video, but I don't know if I can. How to make it work before I try to show it. Maybe I'll get that ready for the end of the day there, Prad. As you're, I'll just try to do it now.
Hey, look,
this
it's
is
me.
so small. Can I zoom? There we go. But it's the quality's not that
Who
good.
the heck edit? First of all, that looks like you
Can I
in
do it
front,
again?
so I don't know what's happening.
That's
there.
me.
Yeah,
You
that's
did my
all-
face, but it's me beating
Whoever
whoever
edited-
that was. But it's the quality it's a little grainy. But thank you, Prad.
You know why it's grainy? You know what's grainy?
That's what it would look like.
It's
Only
a dream. It looks like a dream because that's
whatever.
the only
But I
time that's happening.
I
in a
wouldn't
dream.
showboat like that. I'll be dead honest. I'm not. If I race you, I don't really see the point of showboating. Like, what's the point? I'm supposed to win.
Neil, I played dirty. Man.
I'm supposed to win.
I
So
played
why
dirty.
you don't sit around going nuts when you're supposed to win. It's just you're like, okay, I won.
talk
That's nice.
so
Act
much
like you've been there
trash.
before. Like Barry Sanders would hand the ball to the ref. Like that's how I roll.
If
I'm
I
just gonna
win,
kind of
Sean,
take the W.
Neil, if I win, you will not hear that. I'm telling you right now, I am going to walk in with a Usain Bolt uniform. That's 1. 2, you're not allowed to be on the show for 3 days. I'm taking your spot for 3 days. You go practice running.
Fahad.
Do not let me beat you, please.
So here's the thing. I will say this
Please.
much. Okay, first of all, I want to get to something. AMC saying, do I think Google will bounce back up? Long term, yes. Short term here, I'm just holding to 355. If it's beneath VWAP, I'm holding my short here. I'm going to tighten my stop as it gets closer to 355 when the imbalances will update. But Fahad, A, you will not win. B, I really don't care what stakes you make. If you want to say I can't be on the show for it doesn't really matter because it's not going to happen. So we're just talking fantasy land here. I think what people are more interested in is what are you going to do when you're wrong? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what you will do when you lose.
I have nothing to lose, though.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
You won't talk
You have
about
a
what
lot
you
to
will.
lose.
You won't talk about what you will do when you lose. That's what I
I'll
want
do
to hear.
anything.
That's what I want to hear.
I'll do anything. I'll eat another hot chip. The
I don't
full
want
thing.
to. I don't want another hot chip thing. You guys tell me in the chat what you think Fahad should have to do. Something fresh, not the hot chip. Make him do something else. Because when we step on this track, it's on. Like I am not in any sense going to take it easy on you. I
I'm
don't
not
care.
expecting you to.
If you talk this much, I raced my guys on my baseball team on my men's league a few years back. They're like, yo, how fast are you? And I remember I was like, whatever. So I kind of jogged it. I'm not going to do that with you, bro. I'm
Hey,
not.
yo, how about
I'm a run.
if I win,
It's
you
on.
got to wear toupee for a month.
A toupee?
like a
Yo,
Justin,
I'll do
like
that.
a Justin
Yo, I'll do
Bieber
that.
toupee.
I'll do that. But some people are saying shave the beard and no.
No, the beard's never leaving.
No, that's actually I wouldn't make you do that.
Well, it's not that it's a bad thing. I'm really ugly without hair. It's unbelievable. I have no chin. I figured
I'll
this
wear a
out.
toupee. You guys see I don't give a damn. That's fine. I like that one. If I lose, that's fine. I'll put that's actually not that bad, man. We're a toupee.
I don't know, man.
Oh, there's the 350. Remember I said 350? There could be a move. So a lot of times you'll get the imbalances start to update. So all those sell imbalances, Amazon's now a buy, Google's now a buy, Intel's now a buy. You don't see Apple, any of those. So they all just flipped at 355. So the short was working underneath VWAP. They flip at 355. You get out of Dodge. Was there really anything to trade to the long side? I don't really know that. Yeah, this is 20 cents worth of a range. To me, that's never worth it when it happens. But when I get the word, I think we are ready to go to the earnings board. I talked about one or two of them, but let's see what else is reporting there, Brendo.
Yeah, still a number of names as we were discussing with Danielle. If you missed it, go back to 3 o'clock this afternoon. Danielle Shea on the show talking about what's coming up this week. Here is what's coming up tonight after the close and tomorrow morning, guys.
So we talked about Palantir obviously being a big one.
Yep.
But there's a couple out there that are going to be interesting to trade. Avis was another. Someone had asked about that in there. When you're looking at the historical PE of something like an Avis, I know it's really cheap, but it's been cheap for a while. Just don't automatically say, oh yeah, it's it's a good long because it's a cheap stock on a PE ratio basis. It's never that simple. Coca-Cola is more of a barometer. I care because I own Pepsi.
Denny's is
They've been
interesting.
getting beaten. You like Denny's?
Yeah, they changed their supply for their chicken, so I think they're losing money, actually, if I have to guess. Pure guess, though.
You're going to go with Denny's is going to lose tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. I like that one. To be honest, I don't think I've ever looked at that stock. iRobot's interesting. They can move sometime. But you know what?
Do you know their ticker?
Fahad thinks Denny's is going down.
What's their ticker?
If I had to be honest, I actually think Palantir might beat because expectations are pretty low. So let's go with, but I also might short Palantir if it gets to $9. That's kind of weird to say, but it's at 7. So we'll go with, you think Denny's short.
Yeah.
I think Palantir has a good chance to beat, although I do want to short it if it goes like 15% up.
Okay. That's
So let's go
interesting.
with that.
I'm looking at Microsoft. Do you see this?
What do you like? What do you like?
Look at this pink line. Pink, purple. Look, everything's under it. Why would you not short at this point every time it touches this line? This doesn't make sense. I don't know what this line is, but it's under it right now.
So see,
So until it breaks that line, do you not just keep shorting it?
if it was my chart, I want to say that's. I want
If I
to
click
say
it, what
that's his
happens?
200 period. But like, which average is that? Like,
Oh, this is moving. No, I don't know. This is a
that's his
3-minute chart.
E-signal chart.
Yeah, this is just a 3-minute.
oh, that's on
chart.
his 3-minute.
Regardless, though, when it goes under this line, I mean, unless it breaks it, you just short it, mister.
No, but if you look at the over-under there, some of the best fills, and Luca talks about this all the time, some of the best fills on a resistance level, if you stay there, are as it spikes above, right? So it spikes above, and then you'll see it like trap people thinking it's a trend break, and then you get some of those fills with a stop just giving it a little bit of room, and then you've actually got it even better. Like sometimes those are the best shorts. Or even longs, right, where it seems like it's breaking out, but it doesn't actually do it. We got about 90 seconds to go, so you think Denny's is losing? There might be, if you like the short in the stock, look at the 13 level.
What is
it
it?
could take, it could, it's, I have it right. It is DNN. Like I don't even look at this stock.
Yeah,
It is.
Denny's,
This is
yeah,
Denny's.
Denny's.
I have to double check because I've never traded. I don't think I've ever traded the stock. But 13, you got the 50 and the 200 period within shooting distance, so you could see some downside action here. But it's a pretty stable stock. I don't know that there's much of a day trade with it because I look at the volatility. It has to break, like because there's probably support down here at 11, and then you can see resistance at 13. So. You want it breaking out of that range or it gets pretty boring very fast there. With under 1 minute to go, if you're here, Fahad.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how. I don't know
I'm
how
like,
he's
who's
switch
gonna
it.
ring the bell?
But I
How
don't
are
know
you switching?
This is
Okay,
gonna be
so
a
I've been
horrible idea.
told, we've been told here that he's got it. So I think in 30 seconds, thank you for joining in,
of
Fahad,
course,
and filling in for Sean there. But we're gonna get that bell rung in about 25 seconds here, and it is somehow going to be Platinum Prad
Prad, you should
both
put the
switching
ring-
the shot
I really don't
and
think-
ringing the bell. I'm not sure how he's gonna pull it off.
I don't
but
think he has this. I'm
I
going to
don't
be
know.
completely
I'm gonna let you count him down because I don't think this is actually gonna
I
work.
seriously don't think this is going to work. Oh, it is. Oh, yes, Brad. 6, 5, 4. There's no bell, brother. You got to win 2 and 1.
Told you it wasn't.
This guy is the worst.
Knew it wasn't gonna work, man. We agree on that one. We knew that wasn't
He
actually.
was already ring the bell and there was no bell.
We knew that wasn't gonna work. We're like, okay, this is because like you can't. It's a 2-man job, bro. More power to
man.
Pratt
Good try.
for making it
That
work.
was really good.
And I
I
saw him
appreciate that.
sneak in his James Harden nonsense, but whatever.
It's okay. Can I do this?
You can do this.
Brennan, how'd the markets close up?
James Harden.
He was so confident with that effort as well. Positive, guys. Nice day. Right across the board. 1.6 almost for the NASDAQ leading the way, as it did the entire session. 1.15 there for the S&P, the Dow 1.07. But hey, we'll take it. Coming off what happened last week. Tomorrow, however, things most likely will change. Good or bad, things will be different.
Yeah, so look, we're going to be here early. Sean will be back, obviously,
Yep.
But we're going to be coming on early every single time we have CPI, major economic number. We come 5 minutes early, so 8:25 tomorrow morning, we're going to be locked and loaded for that
Very
number.
nice.
Everyone is going to be here. We'll give you ideas on, not just how to trade it, but how to react, and we'll show you real-time trading live as always. I want to thank everybody in the chat to be sure. Brendan. Did you give the expectation on the number? Because if you did, I might have missed it.
There's a bunch. I mean, it depends on who you look at. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 to 3. My mistake. Wouldn't that be nice? 2.5 to 3.
2.5 would be great.
6%. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 6.5%. I'm getting months and months ahead of myself with 2.5 to 3.
Brendan, if it comes out 2.5 to 3, all I'm gonna do is just go like market buy absolutely everything, max out my buying power, and then well, I'd still be here doing the show, but then we can all just retire to a beach or something. Because 2.5 to 3 would be insane. If it comes in hot, I think we're in a lot of trouble though. I'm a little bit worried. If it comes in hot, I think the downside could be ugly. But thank you guys so much. I see we'll do a poll in the morning for sure. The first thing we sit down, we'll have a poll. So get in early as well, because we'll get the poll up on what you think it might be and how the market will react. But for everybody here, bang up job. I thought it was a great first trial. Doing the trade of the day, which you guys are going to see from Sean in front of the green screen. So shout out to Prad and yourself and Mark for putting a lot of work into that. Prad, thank you for being on the 1s and 2s. Great job by the midday boys as usual. Sharif wasn't feeling all that well. I'm getting to you in a second.
Okay.
I want to end.
I didn't want you to wrap up quick.
He's requested.
But Luke and Sharif doing a great job. And Brendan, as always, being professional and making sure that we get all the live news. I kind of suck today, but every now and then it happens. Bed Bath & Beyond. I lost today shorting Bed Bath & Beyond, which is embarrassing. But Fahad,
That's me.
are you kidding?
I know.
Look at that.
Well, I'm cute, man. Wow.
How could such a cute baby
No,
have turned into this?
No, stop.
How is
Don't
that
do it,
even
no,
possible? How
don't
does
do
that
it,
happen,
no.
man?
I'm a handsome guy.
That is.
My mom calls me every single day to tell me I'm a good-looking fella. Every day. End the show.
Your mom is absolutely fantastic. I don't necessarily believe that. But thank you guys so much. Fahad was a cute kid. Tune in tomorrow for more abject shenanigans. And, of course, we are back at 8:25 in the morning, live trading for you guys. This is Trader TV Live. That is Fahad. That is Brendan. I'm Neil, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.